back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with the fantastic Miss Jo Fallak.
Why, hello.
The wonderful Justin Thomas James.
No!
And the one and only Mr. Alex Guthrie.
Evening, Governor.
And we are here with chapters of the Undefeated, episode 9. That is right. We have done 9 fantastic episodes in our D&D 5e campaign run by the one and only Jo. Campaign. So a huge thank you, first and foremost, to her for running all these fantastic games, and more importantly, thank you to you, the audience, for sticking with us for 9 episodes. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. I've loved getting to grow into these characters and developing them and sort of understanding where their quirks and faults lie. So I'm really excited about tonight and the future of this little series we call Chapters of the Undefeated. If this is your first time watching the Invictus stream, welcome. Please like the YouTube video right now. And after you do that, subscribe to us. When you subscribe to us, you get access to nothing, really. Just you get to be notified when we do a Wednesday live stream. And you also can look through all of our past videos. I mean, you could do that without subscribing, but what's the point? If you're going to look through them all, you might as well subscribe. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Invictus Stream, and you can join our Facebook group. The Facebook group is the place where all the cool people get together. It's where we chat and hang out. It's where the Alex coughs.
That's where I cough all the time. That's what I do.
He just shows up on the Facebook.
Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, Alex.
Oh, you. Put sputum all over everybody.
Such a good word.
Thank you. Also, it's where you can talk to friends and grow as a community with us. What we love is hearing from you guys, how your games go, how your individual stories that you may be crafting that haven't got the chance to be played amongst your friends. If you want advice on them, if you want to give advice, the community is the place to do that. And so please consider joining the Facebook group.
And gifts.
And posting a ton of gifts. And it is gifts, not peanut butter. When you join the Facebook group and you sort of contribute to the community, you also have a chance to win the MVP. MVP is the most valuable post. It's the post in the week that we like to distinguish amongst the rest. And this week, I would like to give it to relatively new member, Mr. Drew Paul. What Drew did was something very interesting. We've been working on, in Chapters of the Undefeated, a compendium, Graham's compendium, my character's compendium, where you guys could add little frilly pieces of text that in sort of the voice of Graham about meeting the succubus or what the hag would sort of feel like, or the lair rather. And what Drew did is he took it upon himself to write this fantastic 4-page sort of backstory to Graham. And I'm going to reshare it, and he posted it earlier in the week, and I sort of pretended not to see it because I wanted to give him MVP because it was so well written and so fantastic to take it upon himself and sort of tell a story about these characters that I get to play each Wednesday, but that you guys get to see each Wednesday. So awesome job, Drew, to sort of take it upon yourself. It wasn't written in the compendium sort of format. It wasn't sort of in his voice, but it was about him, and it was so awesome that I wanted to give you a little bit of a shout out. So well done, Drew. You win Most Valuable Post.
Nice.
Very nice. That's very nice, Justin. I love you. Also, it is an 18+ show. If you are not comfortable with no words, such as, what kind of words, Alex?
Poopy. Poopy doopy.
Poopy doopy?
Fuck off, will you? I was trying to think. God, it's not my fucking bullshit always thinking off the top of my fucking head terminology I can do, okay?
That's right. If
Jesus
you are
Christ.
uncomfortable with words that Alex is currently saying, then feel free to close the video. But before you do, like it. And also, don't close the video because it makes
Turd.
That's right. It came before the warning. But now that the warning is up, warn. Warn. You warn it, you can't return it.
Anus.
Anus tart.
Anus.
So yes. Anyway, that's the warning, the 18+ warning. So if you're
Areola.
All right, Joe, we get it. Words. Sputum. Two more quick shout-outs. I also want to mention that we have the Invictus Garage, which is a separate Facebook group that Jal Watson, Chris Lawrence, Aisha, and Bob Lyle have helped us create, where you can trade games and RPGs and books, a whole myriad of things that you might have on your shelf right now that you want to send to somebody through PayPal. You can use transactions and all that kind of stuff. So if that's something that you want to do, check out the Invictus Garage. The link is in the Facebook group, or you can search it on its own right. It is a public group, so you can join it at your leisure. Please read the rules at the top. And that's a shout out for Jal, who is very expertly taking care of that. Yeah, or diligently. John diligently. I like expertly. You just thought I didn't know the word. That's the thing.
No, I was trying to help you because I thought you were floundering there.
Harlan don't need help. Finally, one last amazing shout out. We launched Patreon earlier this week, or I should say end of last week. On Friday, we launched our Patreon. It is Patreon/The Invictus Stream. We ask for money for a whole bunch of things. We are trying to do the podcast format of this show, and having money sort of helps us balance out, but also we want to do so many more things. And I am so, I want to say blessed, but I always kind of hate using that word to an extent, but I'm going to use it anyway because I feel very blessed as Graham for having such a fantastic, caring, thoughtful community such as you guys. In only, I think, maybe 3 days, we had raised over $100, and as of today, we have raised $156 and that is actually after Patreon's cut. I think it's actually like 170 something based on what you guys have donated to us on a monthly basis. So first and foremost, to every single person who has donated to us, thank you so much. You deserve a huge amount of thanks.
It's so incredible.
So incredible.
I'm so thrilled. And can I just say that as a Patreon donor, the people who are generously giving us what money they can afford to back our little enterprise here, they're going to be receiving the campaign notes from this episode and everything else that we do going forward. So that will be coming in a package, I believe, at the beginning of June.
Yeah, exactly. And as well as all the games we run. So Coda was just last week. I know a lot of people enjoyed that Justin and I sort of did for you guys. You're also going to get all the notes and the backstory that we wrote with that, as well as some of the title files and audio files that we used. And that's for backing at the $5 or higher tier. You also get access to Discord roles, and at the $10 tier, you have access to a private monthly video that we're going to send to you or give you access to. It might be private on YouTube or something like that, where you can watch sort of us doing a bit of secret stuff. Maybe a little bit of hinting at what the next campaign, maybe just general chatting with you, answering some questions. It's going to be sort of a loose target so that we can sort of cover as much material as we want and give you guys an idea of what that's like. So thank you again, first and foremost, to everyone. If you have not considered, or if you have not supported us yet, I should say, please consider doing it. It is something that is very helpful. We've debated for a long time about doing it. We've had many discussions, and it's something that we decided, especially because we were sort of losing money, that we really wanted to do. And now that it started, we're talking about so many ideas and so many things that are going to come to fruition because of this, and it's really exciting. Joe is excited way too much. Look at her face. This is a super excited face. This
just
is
basically like this all the time.
It's just too much
hurts.
sugar.
My face.
It hurts. You're hurting her. No, but please consider. And if you don't have the financial means, I know some don't, that's okay too. We still appreciate the fact that you are here with us hanging out. It does not lessen that at all. It just makes us also feel very thankful about the people who have the money and the means and are willing to support. So again, one huge round of applause to all of you. And in the thankful note, I'm going to throw it to Jo as she wants to talk about a few things as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly promote the Queen City Conquest convention. It's a tabletop games convention that's happening in Buffalo, New York, September 7th, 8th, and 9th. The creators of this convention, I had the pleasure to meet, and Harlan also got to hang out with them when we were doing Breakout Con in March. They're really lovely people. And they're also broodlings. So, hey, ladies. Lisa Chen is going to be one of the special guests there. She's really well known for her work with D&D 5th edition as a writer. And there's a lot of Adventurers League stuff that's going to be going down. So we also have some of the people in our Toronto community who will be guests there. Rob, Kate, and Rach will all be down there running Adventurers League. So if you're in the Boston area and you're interested in going to a friggin' wicked, fairly new convention, Queen City Conquest is the place to be.
There you go. Queen City Conquest. That's a good fucking name for a convention.
Yeah, totally.
That's like a badass name. That makes me jealous. Don't get me wrong. All conventions have good names. What was the one we went to? Breakout Con. That was pretty cool too.
Breakout Con, yeah.
Made it sound, let me tell you, Breakout Con was the best name to run an end of the world game, which is what I ran, because Outbreak at Breakout was like a title fit.
It writes itself.
It literally did. And actually, speaking of,
Harlan, it's Breakout Con. No, you don't understand. It's Outbreak. Outbreak. No, Harlan.
That's like a fucking Abbott and Costello sketch right there.
Alex, that's what we should do. A two-player RPG, Abbott and Costello style.
God, that would be fun.
I think, Joe, you have donned the mantle. You need to be. We need more C. Gennaro. They have asked for it. We need to bring C. Gennaro, a return of C. Gennaro, and I think, Joe, you're the GM to be doing that. So we need to.
I would love to.
Because that is essentially
directed by C. Gennaro.
Man, I could go for some goofy slapstick. Anyway, so yes, thank you so much again to those who are watching, first and foremost, those who have supported us on Patreon. Again, we are going to have a good time tonight, and I think that's all we need.
I can't fucking wait to just see what happens.
Well then, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy. Oops, can't start it yet. Too early. There we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Chapters of the Undefeated, Episode 9.
The sea pushes mist up onto the coast of Duluth County, sowing glittering condensation to every bramble and thicket and blade of new spring grass. A thin child wanders through the fog, humming quietly to himself, hands playing over the new buds in the field, his little feet and body soaked through the holes in his shoes and smock, his hair cut roughly and tangled. He's making his way towards a dark copse of trees. We see him glance unsteadily at a tall and precarious pile of stones, and then another. He enters the woods and is dwarfed by the trees, following a thin trail, and for some time there's no noise except for his tiny footfalls and his nervous humming. He pauses to rest, sitting down on some fallen log, and when he looks up his breath catches in his little chest. A shaft of light illuminates a forest clearing he'd swear wasn't there before. And in the clearing, several garishly painted covered wagons are parked in a circle. He picks himself up and walks forward through the mist, calling out into the stillness. "Granny?" After a few moments, a stooped old woman walks around the side of a wagon and shakily nods, beckoning the boy forward. "Yes, boy, good child, coming to see Granny like she asked. Come here. Show Granny what you've brought her." The boy enters a circle of wagons, the muffled animal sounds from within echoing dimly in the clearing. He pulls at a pouch on his waist and reveals in his small hand a skeleton key. What a good boy you are. Previously, in chapters of the Undefeated. Hot on the heels of a hag, the adventurers made their way deep into a swamp downriver from the town of Salisal. Investigating a strange mound of earth, they are set upon by twig creatures bent on their destruction. After demolishing them with flame and boot, the PCs delved deep into the heart of the hag's hovel, finding Baby Lotus in squalid conditions and making off with some hag loot. On their way out, they are surprised by a mind-reading creature with one giant eye, who bartered knowledge of the hags for a spell book. We begin this session fleeing the hag's domain. Where are we? What is everyone up to?
We're running back to Salisal? No.
Correct.
Yeah. We're going back to town. Someone has got
Lotus.
Baby Lotus. Who's
I've
holding
got
the baby?
I'm holding her tight as I
The
tromp
baby's
through the muck.
the baby's kind of squalling gently. She's not super happy. She's obviously really hungry. But otherwise, you're not having too tough a time with her. Are we following the river back to town? Are we taking a long way around?
No. We are not taking the river because remember that eye thing said that the hag travels along the river.
Yes.
And I specifically said last game that we're going as far north from the river as possible.
Okay. So let me make this clear as far as kind of the layout, just the cardinal directions. The town of Salisal is located along a river that travels north to the sea. So we were north of the town along this river. So we're traveling back south towards town. So we're going to kind of, I think, swing west a little bit to get wide of that river, if that's what you mean.
Totally, yeah. We just want to give it a wide berth because I'm pretty sure, yeah, that thing, I remember it saying that it travels along the river and we don't want to run into it as it's like going along in a little raft.
It's the last thing we want to do, Graham. I feel quite concerned about what that one-eyed creature was saying.
Yeah, it seems to kind of haunt you as we travel away from this hag's domain. The fact that this creature was able to so easily see into your deepest thoughts and speak to, the secret parts of you. As we travel through this dark forest, it's midday, but the shadows in this swamp, this wood, seem abnormally gaunt. They seem to move strangely as we pass.
I'm going to roll perception on them.
Okay.
Since those other brambles sort of came to life and tricked us. Fool me once. They didn't fool me.
Not quite how it goes, but I'll take it.
16. Well, because I didn't go close enough to them, so 16.
Graham, with your 16, you peer into the shadows. They seemingly are moving of their own accord as we pass. Kind of really, I guess, just like off-putting. Kind of terrifying. You don't seem to see any creatures hiding therein, but the shadows of the trees around you seem to just be almost following us.
And I say as much. It seems like these trees have shadows and they seem to be following us.
Following us?
Yes.
It is an eerie place. Sorry, Leah. What's that?
No, I don't like that very much at all. And Leah is like all of her once fairly clean, if travel worn garments. They're now just soaked in all black mud from the hips down, and she's drenched from having been in the water. Everyone's wet and kind of miserable.
Well,
Yes.
the faster we can get to town, the faster we'll be out of these woods. Aye.
And it's about a 4-hour trek back to town. It starts to rain.
What time of day is it?
It's coming up on noon.
So as we move, I want to just talk about the plan. And I turn to them and I say, so we need to fight this hag. What we understand, if I remember correctly, I have a compendium for this. Literally the purpose of it was that there are two hags. The hag mother and her one daughter.
Well, that evil creature with the big eye said something about another daughter that had left.
That left, yeah. So I wouldn't be concerned about her right away. And we took the baby, that's right, because I wanted to leave the baby.
Right. There was a bit of a altercation there.
Yeah, I remember.
But we decided that we were going to take it to the church, and they were going to look at it to see whether or not there was a curse, rather than taking it to the father. And
yes,
perhaps there is something wrong with his baby.
Now, the eye creature did say that if the hag mother discovers that we've taken the daughter, she will find us at night and will kill us. I do remember her saying specifically at night, or it saying specifically at night.
Right.
And it's only
so we have
noon
some
right
time
now.
to prepare.
Exactly. The mother travels on the river. I remember also, by writing it down, literally, that we also need silver to hurt the hag mother.
Oh, that's right.
That's really good that I wrote that down.
I'm very glad you put that.
None of us remember that.
Aye.
And she also wrote that the older daughter is at the pit, and the other left weeks ago.
I was just asking myself, where are we going to find some silver?
Aye.
And then I realized, and now I realize that I don't have any silver coins. I'm sorry. I thought I did, which is embarrassing. I was going to say, I had
but
some
you
silver
do
coins.
bring up a good point. I'm sure that either the mayor or if there's a bank in Salisol, I don't know if it's big enough, they would be able to convert our gold coins to silver. No,
Well, I'm sure we could also just buy silver weapons or borrow them. I mean,
Perhaps.
this entire town is plagued by the dreams that this hag mother most likely casts over them.
How are we going to possibly protect the entire town?
Well,
It doesn't make any sense.
We don't need to protect the entire town. The hag mother is coming after baby Lotus. We have what it wants. There's an old tale called Hometh Aloneth, where these two bumbling guards come after a young boy as he tries to prepare his castle for their eventual arrival. I believe we should take this ancient tome to heart and use it as a way to prepare traps and try to lure the hag towards us.
it sounds like a very interesting tale.
Christopher Columbus is the person who wrote it. Oh wait, that's an explorer. That's confusing. Chris Columbus directed it, just so we're not confusing.
Ah, I see.
Do we remember?
Well,
sorry, as we're going, I want to talk about the layout of the church because I think this was sort of our idea of where it might. Now we know there was a back door because it was broken into during the assault. But was there only one back door?
From what we saw, so Sister Heather Constance, we've been in the church twice now. So we met with her, and then you also brought Leah to her to be healed at one point. So you've seen that the church is sort of subdivided into 3 main worship areas. It's fairly open concept, but that like Lathander has one, and Alistair has one, and Malil, I believe, is the other one, has one. And then they all have their own kind of quarters behind like the pulpit type areas. And then beyond there is like storage, and that's where the back door is. There's also a basement area that you didn't investigate because it's not really necessary. And there's probably also like an adjoining building for like the domiciles of the people who work there.
Was there anything else just out of going through town? I know when we first entered a few episodes ago, you listed there were a lot of taverns, there was the church. Were there any other buildings of note that might be a good...
absolutely. There are.
There's more than 5 buildings in this town?
There are like a whole bunch of buildings.
No, I mean, like, were there any other things that would seemingly suit this purpose?
Suit what purpose?
Sort of...
Protection?
Yeah.
From dark beings.
Oh, as far as like arcane magic shops and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. There definitely are. This is
shops, but
much... Sorry?
I was gonna say shops, but not like places of holy worship where we might find some protection in the building itself.
No, so as far as divine spellcasting, you would definitely be looking towards the places of worship for those sorts of services. For the arcane arts, you would be looking more for like hedge wizards or alchemists, or if there's like an arcanarium. This place is like, if like the capital Orjak is like Toronto like size, which it's not obviously, but if we're thinking like the capital is Toronto, and the place where we came from, Zoanth, is gonna be like, you know, maybe like a 5,000 person type village. This is more of like a Brampton, Mississauga type size. Do you know what I mean? It's like an intermediary town. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously there's not like hundreds of thousands of people here, but it's like you can find one of each of the different kinds of things, but there's not like a ton of selection. There aren't going to be like competing libraries or anything.
They got like a downtown and a mall?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, the Central Exchange was like right by the river, so that's like a central hub for there's like an indoor marketplace, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I wonder if
Sorry, that, like all of those references were totally not useful for anyone who's not on stream.
Yeah. That's okay. We're the ones playing. Well,
maybe they can look up on Google to see what our territory looks like.
They will have silver weapons, at least, a town of this size. The other thing we might consider, and thinking back as we're running and talking.
Yeah, we're like, are we running? I feel like a sustained run for 4 hours is not likely. But we're just like...
Have you seen the two towers? They run... The elf and Gimli, I mean Legolas, they run so much.
The elf
and Aragorn, they run the entire movie. They're just like keeping up the pace.
Tarragon?
I said Aragorn.
You said Aragorn.
I did say Aragorn.
That's a problem.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Strider.
Strider.
There we go.
Anyway, my point was that I wanted to consider were there any. We should ask quickly the mayor. He gave us that. What was his name? Mayor Tubbs or something?
Goots.
Chancellor
Goots.
Chancellor Goots. It's unlikely, but if there was any area of this town where people were not affected by the sleep, by the violent dreams, again, it would be tough to. I'm not saying make it a priority, but if there was, that might be a good place to also hold up. It might be that the hags would not be able to affect that area as much.
Oh, that reminds me, Graham, didn't Chancellor Goots give us a letter?
Yes, we have like martial authority or something. We were acting as guards or something.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, that's right. So we can just outfit ourselves with silver weapons. Done.
Perhaps we get a discount at the blacksmith for being...
No, because we at Zoanth, remember they had magical and silver weapons in their armory, and we are acting guards. All we have to do is go into the armory and be like, we're guards, we're arming up.
That's true. It may take some convincing.
It might work. At least we have an idea. Also, it would probably be a good idea to get some silver weapons just to have.
Well, yes, of course, yes. I'm just thinking in short time with very little pocket change.
How much money do we have? And
we should have.
Leah's like searching through her side pouch as she's walking along. She's like galloping to try to keep up with you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have almost 20 gold.
I have 20 myself.
I've got 20 as well.
I have whatever starting gold is. I never wrote it down.
I believe we also got... I mean, Harlan, you've been acting as, like, quartermaster, right?
Supposedly. What I wrote down, based on all my notes, is that we have 5 gold pieces, 39 silver, and 56 copper. But you're right, because what is it? Every 10 silver is gold? Mm-hmm. And every 10 copper is gold?
Every 10 copper
is silver. I mean? Yeah, let me recalculate this real quick.
Okay. All right, so we continue on our way. Unless there's anything else we want to discuss, we can make it back through the rain, through the muck, to Salosal.
So we have 6 copper, 4 silver, and 9 gold. And then I assume I would have 20 gold, because it seems like everyone else has 20 gold.
Yeah, we started with approximately that amount.
Perfect, and I don't think I bought anything, really.
I don't think we bought anything important yet.
A thought occurs to me, and I kind of turn my head back to the others. I figure I'm leading the group right now with the baby. And I say, do any of you have a family? Any of you have little wee ones like this one in your life?
Well, I have an older sister, but I never, I'm not married or anything.
Married. Aye, okay. No little babies like this around. Quite honestly, I didn't know how to stop it. It keeps on crying.
Yeah, it's pretty loud, and it occurs to you that we would really be kind of fucked in terms of combat, because we're going to be able to be heard from a big distance away, and you're going to have to take care of a baby instead of fighting during combat. You can't. I mean, you could just like put the baby down, but like
That's not. Yeah.
it's really.
Tados, do you have... This is going to alert people and enemies potentially from miles away. Do you know any way that you could calm this thing?
This baby. We've got babies in our town. I do not have any children of my own, but I do have family members that have children. Extended family. Now, I don't know exactly what I might be able to do, except for perhaps I'd like to cast a charm spell on the child.
Okay, very interesting.
Very interesting. Good thinking.
Think I could do that without much difficulty?
I mean, you would be expending a spell slot.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it's worth it. It might save our ass.
What are you trying to charm the baby to do?
Let's just see. You attempt to charm a humanoid. Must make a wisdom saving throw. Companion's fails to throw a charm. I guess I want it to feel like it's comfortable.
Okay.
You know, if I can charm it enough to make it
to kind of chill out and
trick
maybe
it
have
into,
a nap.
Yeah, trick it into feeling as though it's been fed, it's comfortable. I mean, obviously, I don't think you can totally make the feeling of hunger disappear, but maybe with a spell you might be able to.
Okay. So I have to make a wisdom save.
Yeah.
Babies are not very wise.
No.
as it turns out.
So here we go. I'm gonna roll and
wait. I roll.
You roll.
Right? Because I'm making a save against it. Is that not how the spell works? Pretty sure.
Yeah. So I don't have to roll, I guess.
You don't roll, I roll.
It's just against my 13 plus 13. Oh. Is that how that works? Sorry.
Yep. So that's against your
spell save DC.
Yep. So I was making a wisdom save against your save DC. The baby continues to cry.
Oh, so it failed, eh?
The baby is more wise than your charm.
You can make
to see
you
whether
can make your own wisdom check.
I'm gonna have to, I guess.
You don't have to do anything.
Just to see if it succeeded. Oh no.
No. A 1.
You are unsure what day it is.
Should have worked. What time is it? Is the sun even up? What's going on anymore? Where am I?
Well, it was worth a shot, Tados.
As we trek through these woods, and we're not even following our old footprints, and if we were, the rain would have probably doused them long since. We come across kind of how to explain. There's like a couple of holes dug in the ground, and we're away from the like swampy area now. We've swung far enough away from the river where it's just kind of lowlands. But there's like some holes dug in the ground that are sort of covered with brush and some evidence of a campfire.
I sort of... How are you carrying the baby?
Well, I had taken the baby out a little bit and held it out to the group as it was crying there to get your input. But normally I've just been carrying it like.
And I'm going to take off.
Put.
Yeah, and I'm going to like sort of look at that and sort of without saying anything. Graham walks over and takes off his scarf and fashions sort of like a
baby Bjorn.
Yeah, basically a baby Bjorn. I don't know what they're actually called, but he does it like with sort of a knowledge, like he's done it before, but he doesn't say anything. In fact, he doesn't make eye contact with Quintus as he does it. And he
Leah sort of like shares a glance with Tados when we notice what's going on. Like, this guy.
And he's like, here, let me.
Goodbye, baby. On the treetop.
It's like ASMR.
When the wind blows.
Quintus, put the child in here.
What do you mean? How exactly do I do that?
And I just here, and I take and I put it around myself. You need your hands free to block and to hit. I can cast spells without moving too much. I'll carry her.
Aye, that's a good idea, Graham. And I'm sorry I yelled at you back there. I just didn't think it was right.
I understand. The problem is, whatever this baby is, whether it still be human, whether it be creature, it might not be satiated by regular means. And I think we tried the blood before. I think I held it over to see what would happen. And I don't know. I don't have enough experience to know whether it would be like, you know, worthwhile, but I feel like that moment of sort of holding it over and the fact that we tried milk, didn't we? We tried something with it.
We had water.
We just had water. And it just didn't
still seemed pretty ambivalent afterwards, though.
So I'm going to try it anyway and just, but I'm not going to use, oh God, should I use that blood? Should I use my own blood? What if that's like poison blood? I'm going to first open the blood and I'm going to hand it to Leah.
Fascinating.
I'm just going to say, does this just look like regular blood to you?
Yeah, Leah's going to roll a nature check, I guess. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I meant, I really want to use INVICTUS to roll for Leah.
Especially if that was a natural one. No problem. You do whatever you want to
do. I have a +3. That is a 10. Leah's like, this is, I don't know. It seems to be blood. It's interesting that it is not coagulated.
Coagulated?
Still a liquid in the glass vial. Yeah, when you take blood out of a living creature, the proteins in the blood make a clot. Unless there's an anticoagulant introduced.
Wow, Leah, that's pretty good for a 7. It's not like you're using meta knowledge, are you?
Yeah. I don't know what kind of blood this is, but it's definitely not clotted.
I'm gonna just try it because I mean, I don't know.
I've got wine.
You're gonna feed the baby blood?
I'm gonna take the blood, and I'm gonna tape not my finger. I'm just gonna take the end of like a pen, my writing stylus.
The pen that you have, the ballpoint that you have.
In this world, it's just it's like a blank, empty quill, and I dip it into it, and I want to hold it over just like the baby's mouth to see if it's like, because if I remember correctly, it was fighting the bottle. It didn't even want it. Did it?
We didn't have a bottle. There was no milk involved.
Oh.
No.
We don't have milk.
So how did we try to feed it water?
With a skin.
Okay, then before doing this, I'm just going to try to feed it with the skin again, just to rule it out as bad luck.
And I've got wine.
Well,
too.
Let's not do
we
wine.
Have wine. We have water.
Okay, so I'm going to do just a bit of wine, and I'm going to sort of tease it above to see if it opens its mouth unaware of what it is, if it sucks, and sort of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the baby's kind of just like squalling and doesn't want to take anything from you.
So the minute it sees the bottle, it's just...
It's a wine skin, but...
Yeah, that's what I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to pour a little bit
of... This is like a 14-day-old child.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then I'll just put it in its mouth then.
Okay. It's sort of like suckles for a second, and then it just starts crying again.
Okay, yeah. This is the experience coming back now. For Graham and for me. Then I'm going to... So didn't want water. I feel like it would have drank in the water if that's normal, like if it's a normal baby.
Do you say drankin'?
You know what? You know what? Leah didn't know that much about blood. I look to the others and I kind of say, something seems off about this child. It needs to feed.
Yeah, babies usually like wine.
Babies don't like wine. No, this is water I gave it.
Oh, well, it does the same thing.
Yeah, okay. So I'm ruling that as then to try something else. And I hold the blood vial and I'm like, I don't know what a hag child would take. And I slowly start moving towards trying to give it blood.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone stop me?
Step in?
I'm going to stop first, and I'm going to say, wait, do any of you have soft fingers? Put your pinky finger in its mouth.
Sure,
Let it suckle on your finger.
I'll do that then.
Okay. It likes that.
Maybe it just needs a soother then. I walk over to like a mushroom, a very safe mushroom.
I totally roll an
The baby's eyes dilate.
Sure. This is
crying and starts.
This is an old Graham trick for the time that he'll never reveal about why he actually knows to do all this baby stuff. And it's a very dry, preserved mushroom. No, I'm not going to succeed. So he doesn't go for a mushroom.
Wait, what did you roll?
A 7.
Okay, I mean, you don't know whether you succeed or not.
Yeah, that's right. So I still wouldn't
find a mushroom.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it in the baby's mouth.
Why not? What if you rolled a 20?
Because I forgot not that Graham doesn't know it, but that the world is a lot more dangerous than Harlan gave it credit for. Yeah. Harlan thought this was the woods of Canada, not a swamp with a hag in it. That's a Harlan failure, not a real world failure.
Well, I'm going to say, listen, I didn't know if this baby is human or not. All right, I want it not to be obvious, or I want it to be human, obviously. But I feel like the only way that we're going to find out is if we bring it to that church and we have people who are professionals at telling whether or not someone is evil or not look at it. And once we know that, then we can make our decision.
I agree. And as he's doing that, I've been fashioning a soother just out of a piece of cloth torn from my shirt. I wet it with a bit of the water and I tied it tight so it has that sort of nipple, and I put it in the baby's mouth.
Baby doesn't want it.
Fuck. So I keep running and I say, fuck.
Yeah, we just continue on.
God damn it. Can I, did we try, I rolled insight on this thing to make sure we don't know what it wants, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, and I didn't succeed? I'm going to do it again anyway, just in case.
Great, roll again.
22.
You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, okay, we just
run. So, we travel back to Salisal, relatively unmolested, past this strange clearing that we stopped.
Oh, thank goodness. It's Salisal.
And
we didn't even check the clearing.
No, we just stopped there to give a baby a snack.
I purposely, and I say, okay, but that we know that the older daughter was at the pits. That's what the woman said. I didn't want to stop there necessarily.
Great, we continue.
Maybe we should have gone back then. I didn't realize we stopped there because of the pits. I forgot. Did you want to check it out, Quintus? I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all right. I want to get this baby back to town as quickly as possible.
I honestly was focused on the screaming of the baby.
Clearly.
Yeah. It's hard to focus on anything else.
It is.
It's like...
Yeah, the baby's...
We'll need to be careful as we go back into town so we do not alert anybody.
Well, that's the thing. So, what is our sort of...
I got my own baby I'm looking after.
Aww.
I'm on the...
I thought you were holding up the bottle of gin.
You're watching the baby? And drinking? And streaming?
That's what it's like here.
Mr. Alex Guthrie, everybody.
Let's wait to see how the night goes first, and then we'll give him a round of applause. He's like,
hold on.
Bottle in one hand, baby in the other.
The baby.
Which is more important?
I gotta give you props. Okay, so what is our whole idea about how we are moving into Salosol? Are we sneaking? Are we just going and are we gonna go and see the daddy, Liam Nee? Are we gonna just go make a beeline straight for the church?
Definitely not the dad.
Church. I turn to the other three, and I say, we have to get to the church.
I agree. Let's take a long way around. Is the church on the edge of town, kind of?
Sure, why not? If that makes it easier.
We don't have new spells yet, right? We don't have new spells yet?
No, so this is still the same day as when we
so many spells I wish I had.
Investigated the
Right.
well,
we'll need to rest before we face this thing anyway, so maybe you can get your spell back then.
On a short rest, I'm not sure about clerics. Wizards get to regain a little bit with their arcane recovery. I don't think clerics get to regain anything.
Would it be a short rest or a long rest? It's what,
long
4
rest
o'clock
is
now?
8 hours. So it's coming up on like dinner time ish.
Hey.
Honestly,
All right, so we make it to the church.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I turned to. Well, we're just running through town with the screaming baby?
Well, I mean, we're approaching Salosol. We see it in the distance. We've sort of like circled back around, maybe it's like 5 o'clock now. We added an extra hour onto the journey because we did a circuitous route.
Superfluous?
Circuitous.
Fortuitous?
Yes.
Fortuitous. Superfluous.
As we approach the town, we realize that the bell on 2 or 3 buildings in the bell tower are tolling. We also recognize that there are an unusual number of people in the streets. So it's going to be hard to get to the church entirely unremarked, but it will be possible to get there, probably without encountering Liam Nee, unless he's like waiting outside the church, which why would he?
All right, so we've got to make it through this crowd, at least at some point.
What do you suggest? There are too many options here.
Well, I mean, a group of people with a baby isn't the strangest thing people have seen. If people ask us, what's the deal with the baby, then we'll just explain it. But I think that they're more distracted by something else.
I feel like people aren't going to be like, hey, is that your baby? Like, it's just the baby that's crying, right?
I hope so, but if Liam Nee sees us as the people who he tasked with finding his baby, and he hears us with a crying baby...
What if I create a distraction?
It seems there already is a pretty good distraction going on, isn't there? All right.
Yes, it does. What seems to be distracting them? I'm sorry, I was.
There's a kind of a constant clamor happening in the town as we approach. A couple of bells are tolling in the bell towers. Definitely the church that we are coming up on, the bell is ringing.
For whom does this bell toll?
I take a wide stride away from the group, the three of you with the baby, and I do approach somebody kind of out of nowhere and not to bring any attention to the baby. So I approach somebody separately and I say, "Excuse me, what's going on in town? There seems to be an awful lot of kerfuffle."
Yeah, you stop a woman who's like towing her 2 kids behind her, and she's like, "Oh, don't you know? The Chancellor's dead."
The Chancellor?
Yes.
Is dead.
Just last night, he was found this morning. Everyone's in an uproar. We're going to have a town meeting about it, but I suspect foul play.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why do you suspect foul play?
Oh, you just have a sense about these things, don't you? You know. Oh, maybe not you, but I feel like a mother's intuition. And she kind of hurries. Come along, children.
Wow, bitch.
Very well. Goodbye. Thank you. And I scuttle back to the others, and I tell them this. Seems the Chancellor has died. Everybody's in a big kerfuffle. That woman believed that it was foul play.
And I looked at
Wait,
Quintus.
what did she say?
She said foul play, yeah.
It's a foul play.
And
Somebody
I looked at
wrote.
Quintus and I say, did not the Chancellor have violent dreams as well? However, it was himself hurting himself. Remember?
Aye.
Yeah, that's right. You said that.
Yes. And that's why the idea of foul play surprises me, because I've sort of been trying to piece together these dreams, and I kind of thought maybe it'd be suicide based on the fact that the violent dreams lead to violent means and all that kind of stuff. Anyway.
Well, either way, it does look like we've got our distraction. Ooh, pardon me. Oh, the breath. Yes, so I think we should split up. If a few of us go into town and actually figure out what happened with the mayor.
I understand. Well, and Leah, I do understand that it is just all right. I do understand that you find it's just a baby, but remember, this is a kidnapped child. When we came into town, it was not just Liam Nee who knew about it. The priestess also knew. She was the one who put us onto him. The town, or many people in the town, might know about the missing child. We could be hailed as kidnappers if we are caught with it.
Well, we didn't want to be caught.
I don't think that would be the case. Yes, it would seem like it, but we've been far too deep and have talked too much to Liam Nee. People have seen us without a baby for far too long. It wouldn't be an easy assumption.
Okay, you're right though. Let's go together to the chapel in case something bad happens.
I agree.
If you aren't able to talk them down, Graham, then Tados, you'd be able to do something about them, right? All right, so we've got some contingency.
Absolutely. I'm sure I can conjure up something.
Who wouldn't trust that gentleman there with a bottle of gin under his chin? A bottle of gin under his chin. All right, then we move to the town. I sort of hold the baby close, and we walk quickly.
Yeah, we only have to pass a couple of intersections before we make our way to the church. We get into the entryway and immediately are greeted by the smell of incense. It's warm and dry in here. Leah's like shaking off her cloak.
And I walk over to the ashes of Alistair, and I draw a cross on my forehead, and then I do the same with the child.
Were the ashes not? Oh, yeah. It's the iron ashes that were stolen.
The iron embers.
The embers, right.
Yeah, the ashes are sort of the...
Yeah, so you draw the insignia on your forehead and the child's forehead. And as you walk into the main, I guess, the abbey portion of the church. What are all the names of the places in churches? Who knows?
Would know more than anybody else.
Pews.
Yeah, into the chapel area. You see up at the front of the church, underneath the religious insignia of the three deities celebrated here, Sister Heather Constance, along with two people you've never met before, a really tall and thin-looking dragonborn man and another human woman. They're all kind of in a reverential sort of posture over a shared altar. The three of them seem to be praying together. There's like rain on the stained glass windows in the church. Everything is lit by candlelight. It's a pretty peaceful, beautiful scene. There's like smoke from incense wafting all around.
And I quickly, I interrupt and I say, Sister Constance, can I speak with you in chambers, please?
Well, immediately as soon as we all walk in, the baby starts crying and she casts a glance. Oh, yes, of course. Brother Graham. It's nice to see you again. Excuse me, sister, brother.
Does she act weird when she sees us?
No, she just sort of like nods. You can roll insight if you like. You can roll insight whenever you want.
But not if it's a waste of time. 16, 21.
She looks a little bit distressed.
Okay. But not like surprised at a kid or anything like that.
I kind of jump out front and say to her,
Please, this child, tell us, what do you think? Is it just hungry? Or is it strange beyond your Well,
maybe let's go to another room.
We're like on the way to do that.
Echoing in the nave, just like booming voices.
Nave, that's a part of the church for sure.
Oh.
She's like, oh, this babe, may I? And she reaches out her arms to hold the child.
And Grams is sort of hesitant, and he doesn't hand it. And he says, we believe the child might be cursed. I think it'd be best if I hold her. But I walk close to Heather.
Of course. Yes, of course. Come with me. And she leads you again to the room where she healed Leah, her sort of like her office, her vestibule or whatever. And she sits with you on this cot, and she welcomes anyone with a gesture to take a load off. It looks like you have been long traveling. Can I bring you anything?
I'm getting a weird vibe from this woman, and I sort of should have looked at Quintus. I know we've met her a few times, but...
Am I just doing a bad job of acting today?
No. Oh, I don't know. Maybe then. I don't know if you're doing a really good job all along, or maybe I'm just looking too much into it.
Should we worry about this?
Why is this priest being so nice to us?
No. Yeah. I just realized that we were very, like, we were... You know, with the whole, we know a powerful person needs to be doing these violent dreams, and she's sort of, she really pushed that aside and sort of made us focus on other things. And it would just be a really neat, you know, angle if it was coming from sort of within the town and these religious icons and stuff like that. Anyway, I just should have looked at Quintus just so he kind of gets the vibe that I'm going with. And anyway, I sit down.
But actually, I jump in here, and without saying anything to these guys, I leave the church. Okay. And what I am looking for would be a local hospital or somewhere where I may find a wet nurse.
Okay. Yeah. That would probably be something that is dealt with on like kind of more of like a person-to-person basis. Like if you talked to someone who is more like, I don't know, I feel like wet nurses are typically used for women who are of some kind of nobility or else have some sort of profession that they can't nurse after giving birth. So you might, that might be tricky to find. And like hospitals aren't really a thing.
Okay, stepping out into the street, I look around. Do I see any women with children?
Sure.
Babies?
Yeah. Yeah, you see a woman, she's like holding an obvious bundle of a child in her arms with like, she's got her robe like up over her head to shield from the rain. She's sort of hustling down the street.
Here we go then. I rush up to this woman.
Okay.
Excuse me, miss. I don't mean to startle you, but I only pray that you will help me by joining me at the church. It's very important, and please, I only ask for your assistance, and it's I wouldn't ask if it wasn't very important. Please, I need some assistance, and I'm gonna roll
persuasion for me.
Perfect.
That's a lot more. I thought you could be like, doth thou have booby milk?
I was thinking of that.
You took it a lot more sane than I thought.
Show me your tits, woman.
Oh, fuck me, a natural 1.
Okay. She sort of gives you a terrified look and clutches her baby closer and runs away.
Okay. Do you guys mind if I spend one more minute on this?
You do.
Go for it.
Attempt number 2.
As long as you make it more comical, because I need another doth thou have.
And here's where I'm going with this, Joe, and I'm just not retrying the same thing.
Right, because there's no other, you don't see any other women running around with babies.
Okay.
That was your woman with a baby. Do
Go
you have
back
any
to
other
that
ideas?
other woman who said she was a mom.
Yeah, it would just.
She had like infant, like toddlers.
It would be to disguise myself, and try the same thing with somebody else. Not this. Not the same woman, no.
Okay. Let me go back to what's happening in the chapel right now.
So Tados is running around the streets.
I'll give you a second to come up with plan B.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So I turn to Constance and I say, I need you, if you have the ability, to detect whether this creature is good or evil, or if it is cursed. Basically, I want her to have the spell that I didn't have. Detect it. Good and evil.
Yeah, so Sister Heather, she sort of rubs her hands together and oh, yes, detect evil and good spell. Yes. One moment. And she retrieves like an amulet from one of the drawers in her desk, and she puts it around her neck and she rubs it a little bit and she prays. And she casts the spell. She casts Detect Evil and Good, and you recognize, Graham, the motions that she is making, the arcane or divine symbols that she's drawing in the air with her hands and the words that she's reciting. The action of doing this spell is similar to what you do, but it's got a little bit of a different flair. She's obviously taught by a different priesthood than you.
It's only
Detect Evil and Good. Let me look up this spell. For the duration, you know if there is a aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where it is. So she pales after casting this spell and points at the child, trembling. That is no human child, Graham.
Yes. Do you have any idea what it is?
It is a demon of some kind. It is a fiend.
Like a succubus.
Similar to one, yes.
Well, that was a fiend. I have it
with
written
a
down.
succubus.
Yes, we did. It was a shape-shifting creature that could fly and attack and charm. But obviously this young child is much too young.
Suddenly, Tados is out in the street.
Yeah, so
Is
what?
there anybody with boobs? I need somebody with human mother's milk. Please.
And he arms open, staring up at the sky, and rain pouring on his face. And it's like a close up, and there's rain dripping off of my horns into my eyes.
One have boobs?
Doth thou have milk?
And I come back into the church, depressed and kind of beat. I'm beaten. Damn it. And I approach the gang.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a woman with
That's
milk.
all right. Constance has just told us here that this creature is not a human, but a fiend.
What?
I'm so sorry.
No.
Constance.
No.
Okay, Constance. This creature. this was once a baby. It was taken. Are you telling me? Once Tados has his moment.
I'm sorry.
I'm upset too, Tados.
Stop chewing the scenery.
If I knew it was a fiend.
No, I turned to Tados.
Is there any chance? Is there any chance that we can turn it back and give it its humanity again?
I don't know. I have no experience with any real evil. I'm mostly just a priestess for the town. You know, deal with interpersonal problems, blessings for crops.
And with that, I pull out my book of notes, and I start flipping through it. And I'd like to roll an arcane to see if you can reverse this, like what I know about hags. Okay. So 9 plus, what would that be? Intelligence? Oh no, our Arcana plus 3.
Yeah,
so 12.
Yeah, you don't know.
Damn it.
What about the other priests of the other two faiths in this building? Would they perhaps know?
Oh, it's possible. Oh, one moment. And she sort of goes and stands out in the sanctuary area. Man, there's so many names for churches, places.
The transept.
The transept?
The booby dagon.
The choir, the apse, the ambulatory.
The poopatoo.
Joe's
Sorry,
gonna
18
Google
plus.
the name.
The aisles, the north transept, the south
I like the
transept,
poopatoo.
The poopatoo, the apse.
The Pirapet. Is that something?
The
The buttress?
You're a
The
buttress.
flying bootress.
You're a buttress.
Pooptress.
I'm a bit of a buttress.
says,
Altar.
A buttress is like a princess, but with butt for a butt.
Yeah.
she says, Brother Krenny, if you could attend me. And the tall, skinny dragonborn dude comes in, and he's wearing the robes of Lathander. And he says, yes, sister, how may I help you? She says, Brother Graham is a follower of Alistair, and he brought this child to me just now, as you saw. She appears to be a fiend. He goes, oh my.
Oh my. Is it George Takai?
Oh my.
Oh my.
What did I say his name was? Kreni?
Kreni.
Qreni. He's like, oh, one moment.
That child
me-
is evil.
Let me see her. And he goes to Graham and reaches for the baby.
And again, I keep her in my arms.
Excuse me, sir, if you wouldn't mind, I just need to see the child.
I'm so hesitant to give this evil child to anybody.
We already know it's a fiend.
Bloody Graham, it's
do
a
any harm.
fiend. Pass it off.
Everybody,
Throw it into the river.
where's you're telling me too?
Your
Everyone has to
problem
say
now.
it at the same time.
Throw it from the roof.
And Graham hesitantly hands the child over.
And Karini,
And we'll roll insight as he does.
great.
Just don't trust priests. 20.
Hey, that's interesting.
He's very curious. He has a intellectual fervor about him that you appreciate. Well, I don't want to tell you how to play your character, but
I don't appreciate it.
he's sort of actually strange, with a strange gentleness for considering the claws on his hands. He holds this baby and does a little baby talk to the baby, and sort of like holds her up and examines her. She's very dirty. She's covered in like someone's cloak probably, and
The dirt.
she's just howling. And he's like, oh, well, I'm very sorry. It seems she's not only a fiend, but very malnourished. Where did you find this child?
In the lair of a hag.
Oh. Oh, well. And he hands her back to Graham. That explains much, I'm afraid.
What does it
In what way
explain?
does that explain it?
That this child is a hag. This is the hag spawn. Yes, I'm afraid.
I was
Yeah,
worried
yeah,
you'd
so-
say that.
The baby from one of the townsfolk was taken, and I thought that this would be it. Could it be that just this baby was converted into a hag, and there's a way to reverse that?
Oh no, I'm so sorry, my son. When a hag takes a child and devours it, she gives birth to that child, and a few days later, no time at all really, and that baby will resemble a regular humanoid until her 13th birthday, upon which time she will also become a hag in full appearance and abilities. She will seek out her mother.
13th birthday?
We have 13 years to make this hag work for the undefeated. We can make it ours. This is like the Jungle Book.
You know what this sounds like, actually? I did hear a tale once. Actually, I won't do this in character, but imagine if we gave it back to Liam Nee and said, like, okay, this is your daughter, but you have to kill her on her 13th birthday.
Ooh, that'd be a cool story.
Before her 13th birthday.
One shot idea. Boo! How cool would that be? One person plays the adult that they know this, and the other person plays the kid, and like maybe something's going wrong. That'd be cool.
True.
All right.
Let's do it and do a spin-off.
What do you plan to do with this child?
We will use it
The hag mother
to
will
lure the hag here,
Well-
and then
Yeah, maybe. I mean, let's talk about it.
So, yeah, we haven't decided that yet.
Yes, exactly.
As a group. We all
can't-
have our own ideas.
we can't allow it to live.
No, but what do you know of hags?
Well,
Queerny.
Creeny.
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 Queenie.
We'll all say it together now.
Courage.
You're
Clearly.
getting very good at it. Very good at
Tell
my
us
name.
all you know about hags, please.
Well, you see, this makes a lot of sense. And he sort of nods at Sister Constance. Our congregations have been plagued these last few months with nightmares growing ever more fierce. And this is something that the hag can do. Can devastate a population with terrors.
How do they do that?
Well, it is my understanding from my learnings that the hag can travel through the ethereal plane and terrorize a creature on the material plane, haunt their nightmares. It's so obvious now that I think of it. I was so blind.
Do you know how we can stop a hag?
We must kill her.
Is there a specific
Child?
Yes, I would advocate for this child to be put to death.
I can agree with that.
Do you have any other ideas? I'm sorry, Brother Carini, and who am I speaking with?
My name's Quintus. This
Quintus.
is Graham and
Hello.
Tados. And
And
Leah.
I am Tados.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Yes. Leah, the smallest of the four. Tell me,
It's accurate.
tell me, how do you kill a full-grown hag? Only with silver? Silver
No.
blade?
It's all been such a long time since I've been speaking about this with someone who had actually fought a hag, but she said it was a difficult endeavor, that the hag possesses great magics, that it can flee from you when it is not healthy, and that while her steel damaged the hag, that the silver was the only thing that truly made any sort of lasting injury.
What about the magic?
I do not recall.
You said that you spoke with someone who fought a hag. Was it someone from this town?
No, this was many years ago, in Orjek, actually. I wonder if this is the same hag.
Where
us
can we
this.
find... sorry, but I need to know, where can we find some silver in town?
Well, the blacksmith is able to create silver weapons, I believe. They did some really excellent work for the church here. They were crafting in silver, so yes, I would suggest stopping there.
You mentioned that the hag could be the same one. Is there a story here?
Oh, hags are immortal. If you do not-
Immortal?
well, they will live forever until they are done away with, if that is what you need to know. That they have no natural causes of death. As fiends, they must be killed. They do not simply die.
But you said that this could be the same creature that the girl tried to kill before. Did she succeed or fail?
No, she failed.
And how did she fail?
The hag disappeared.
And
You
she was
mentioned-
using steel weapons.
She
Not silver.
had silver with her as well. She found the silver weapon to have dealt the most damage, but then the hag retreated.
You mentioned it can flee. How can we prevent the hag from fleeing? Do you know of anything that can bind it?
The baby, Graham, the baby.
More in the binding sense?
No, sorry.
She will come to find this child, I'm certain.
Right, but if she takes it, there won't be much to stop her. Can she touch silver? Is it to the touch that she's unable to?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
We should put the baby in a silver cage.
Interesting.
Could you imagine?
Well, that would hurt the baby a lot.
Well, the baby's going to die anyway, right?
Well, see, here's the thing about the baby. You say that it takes 13 years for it to turn into a hag.
Well, my
Right?
understanding is that it is a hag. It only takes 13 years to look. Like, they said they ate the baby and shat this out. This is.
Did they shit it out? Or
Sorry, sorry.
Labor, they
That's
birthed
me
it?
being crass.
I don't know anything about hag shitting.
But here's, I mean, maybe I'm being silly here, but, and I know I'm being silly here, but 13 years is still a long time to live. And if I have 13 years on my life, if someone were to cut that short, I don't believe that that would be a very ethical action.
And I put my hand on Quintus's shoulder and I said, Quintus, I don't believe this is the child in any way, shape, or form other than look. Well, that seems like a weird phrase. Because then that would be in shape and form. Only in shape and form, I should say. This is a fiend. This creature is birthed after the hag devoured every instance of young baby Lotus, meaning that the child that we knew is completely gone. I don't think any life, even in those 13 years, is worth preserving. It is.
How do we know? How do we know that it's not a matter of... I mean, if I was raised by a hag, I'd probably be a pretty shitty person myself. But how do we know that this thing cannot be raised by good people that could do it good? And maybe it's going to become very ugly when it turns 13, but maybe it could be ugly for a good cause.
It is an evil being. It's a fiend.
Right.
I think
Quintus,
you-
there's no saving it.
Tados, you have the most experience with fiends among us.
Yes.
What do you
And-
think?
Well, you can't polish a turd. You can't make a fiend a good person. A fiend is a fiend is a fiend, no matter how you cut it.
Am I wrong here? Totally meta. Can you make a fiend a good person?
I think we have talked about this, and I think that like evil is evil. Like in the D&D world, I think evil is just evil.
Like, yeah, you would never be like, just for discussion purposes, you would never be able to. I don't want to come off sounding so sure about it and then be wrong.
I think we have to not be meta about this, because I think based on the information that we've provided, I mean, in a year's time, we might change our opinions in character as well, and I think that's okay. I would
I
rather...
want to know what Tados thinks, because technically, as a tiefling, your bloodline is kind of descended from fiends. So, if anything, I think that Tados might be a little bit sympathetic to the cause of, like, you can change, you're
Okay.
not.
Also,
Interesting.
Tados doesn't want to be a tiefling anymore, right?
Yes.
I never have liked having the scowls at me.
Right.
But
But then,
I
again,
appreciate where you've come from there.
maybe you've had some experience in your life with, like, you know, lesser fiends or whatever coming from the abyss that you have certain ideas about. Like, this isn't about being right in terms of D&D. This is about what your character thinks.
That's what I'm in support of.
Yeah.
Rather than like the meta knowledge, I think, at least not to... I mean, Tados, you'll come to your conclusion, but Graham is understanding what this priest is saying and basically believes that part is dead and that this creature is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the role-playing sense.
Well, if you ask my opinion,
I do.
anything could be evil and anything could be good. If you look at the realities, if you look at a man could be evil, a man could be good. And I suppose with that being said, a fiend could be evil and a fiend could be good.
So you're saying that there is a chance that this creature could turn out to be a good person?
I think it is a very, very far fetch. But my bloodline is technically that of one that is damned, of one that should be evil. But my bloodline has sustained over many, many generations, and I am a good being. I am not an evil being. I may be sporadic, but I am not evil. My point is, this child, and I look down at the child. Is it wailing away still?
Mm-hmm.
This child may be evil now. It may always be evil. Or it may not always be evil. But who could tell? I can say this. The one who birthed it is certainly evil.
That's
And
true.
if you want my opinion on the matter, I say we don't make a decision on the child until we deal with the mother.
Aye.
The mothers.
That's true. We do need to take care of that mother, and we're losing daylight quickly.
Well, it's
How
only
do you like that for flip-flopping, by the way, folks at home? No, it's not. It can never be good. No, it sometimes can be good. Sorry.
Very realistic indecision there.
You're right, Quintus. We have a tough decision to make. And we're going to stop there for the mid-game post. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to stop the action and jump over the Discord to ask you a question about the game so far. Hope everyone's having a good time. We have a new Patreon supporter during the game. A
No
huge
way.
round of applause. Absolutely. Huge round of applause to Mr. Jacob Watterson
Hey, thanks, Jacob.
for supporting us at the undefeated level too. Thank you. That's 22 patrons. So exciting. Also, Chris
Oh.
is with us. Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Hey,
bud?
Yeah.
Chris.
And we've got... Is this a new person? I'm seeing Gore Redding.
Yes, she's
Yeah,
new.
she joined today on the Facebook group.
Welcome, Gore Redding.
Welcome.
So now it's time for the mid-game post. Joe, do you have a question in mind?
Yeah,
Be right
man.
back.
I am frig. A little bit
Frig?
yeah, frig. Yeah, I'm a little bit
Country?
unsure about what to ask.
Um,
Oh, here's an easy one. What's the name of the chancellor who just died?
Oh, is that easy?
Is that an easy one?
It's pretty easy.
Easy to be like, what color shirt's Harlan wearing?
Oh, I remember. Okay, yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah, we did. Sure. So below the episode 9 chat on the Discord, you'll see another section called Mid-Game Post. All you have to do is answer the question there, and you have a chance to win a little bit of experience points that you can affect the way the game is played. Zia, she made a post earlier to sort of spend some XP, but unfortunately it was seen too late, and luckily the roll succeeded either way, but she wanted to aid the Detect Magic roll that the Constance was doing on the child. So thank you again for that. If you want to spend your experience points, you just have to go there.
We're gonna hang on to that 1 XP that Zia.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if Zia would like us to.
She didn't really spend that. She wanted to, but I didn't see it fast enough.
Is Harlan wearing a shirt? You'll never tell.
Is he wearing a shirt?
Not-
What?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
is
wearing-
that like a scarf and a scarf shirt combination?
This is a shirt.
skirt.
This is a neck thing, and then this is my hairy chest. That's not a sweater in its own right.
It's like a flesh-colored sweater.
A flesh-colored sweater. A
Fletter.
flesh fletter.
Ugh.
That would be disgustingly delicious. Zia says it's fine. Have at thee.
Disgustingly delicious.
Dush Bernie Grout. Not yet so far. So, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Justin?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm reading some of the comments on Quintus's ethical quandary.
That was the
Zia
best.
says just letting her live to 13 and knowing she has to die or be evil is really shitty too. And it is pretty shitty, but I think Quintus is thinking that maybe there's a chance that when she turns 13 she'll turn ugly but still be able to, contribute to society and not be evil. It's nature versus nurture. Nurture versus nature. How does it work in D&D?
I'm still going kill the
How
child.
does it work in real life?
Are we back in the game?
Not
No, we're just like positing future ideas. What's gonna happen? Who knows?
yet.
What?
I'm gonna kill that baby.
I'm gonna kill that baby. He's gonna kill that baby. He's gonna kill that baby. Gonna kill.
Oh, we just lost a Patreon supporter. They just keep dropping. Boop.
Guys, we were making money, and now it's like, yeah, I was literally just saying that. It's dropping.
But for reals, yeah, guys, what do we want to do now that Joe's gone? We need to discuss.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we gotta kill this baby.
I said we lure the hags in with the baby.
But why
Totally.
bother?
Get
Why
some silver weapons.
Why kill the hag?
Because with the nightmares, we gotta stop the nightmares. They're doing something with the
nightmares,
town.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they eat children.
Okay, I'm not denying that they're bad.
And they eat children too. That too.
I'm saying we could literally get like a whole band of like kill the beast mentality and like go out to the woods.
A mob.
Or we just hide
mob.
the baby.
I like
not
kill the
gonna help.
beast.
And then they get another hag. They get another baby and turn it into a hag. Then we steal that baby, and we just keep stealing hag babies, and we train them. Our campaign is just going to be 13 years of training hag babies
To kill them.
and like each one. The first one we try, it turns out evil. But the second one we did like helicopter parenting. We did it really, really close.
What if there's something more evil than a hag nearby?
More evil than a hag?
Here's my
there
thinking.
could be.
Remember those big like crab-like creatures that came up on land?
Crab baby.
What if we just stuck the baby to one of those? Then the hag comes in.
Crabs?
And then it's sort of like in Doom when you like walk into a room so that all the beasts hear you, and then they start fighting amongst each other, and then
Okay.
you come in and you kill them at the end because most of their HP has already been spent.
But that doesn't really work because hags are mindful beings. They're like, I'm going out there, I'm
Yeah.
going to do this, and I'm going to cause ruckus. Whereas these big crabs are like, oh, I like fish, and these things might be prey.
The crabs were just an example. I was thinking like
Were they crabs?
an anti-hag. Like I'd
Well,
say,
they were
let's go
like-
back to the other town and
They were
throw it
like
at the
serpents,
succubus.
weren't they? Oh, no.
Yeah.
They were
I don't really know what they were. They're like weird.
the
Bugs.
dragonfly larva.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
just thinking how great.
I
it would be to
don't
have,
like.
a hag on hag.
I think I like your idea of setting up some sort of trap with the silver.
Yeah, that's. I was more joking. That's more.
I know
Everybody-
you were joking.
I picture it's like that scene in the
No,
Lord
no,
of the
I
Rings
wasn't
where
joking.
there's
Home
the
Alone.
pillows.
I'm saying I was more joking about throwing the baby
the
at
silver box?
an anti-hag. No, I think the silver box would be a good idea.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm thinking this. We put like the baby in a silver cage hung high up in the church. You know what I mean? Like the front door open with like a silence trap. Like I want to do like a cone of silence so it can't say anything because I'm assuming the witch probably has spells. You know what I mean? And like there's like a binding spell I have. I'm pretty sure that doesn't let them move either. I have to
Now,
check.
will he be able to change your spells in the
Whole
time that we
person.
have?
No, but I would take them. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a long or short rest is.
Long rest is 8 hours. We might have 8 hours. Like if we find the spot quickly and then rest there, that was a
Probably
creepy
not.
sound.
That
Then
was a creepy sound.
6 right now.
depending on when.
I need hold person. We need that because the whole thing is she's gonna run.
All right, so Graham, just go to sleep right now.
Yeah,
in
you
the
guys
chapel,
figure it
and
out.
then find us. And then, like, when 8 hours rolls around, it'll show up probably in 10, and then we'll have to survive for 5 hours.
Damn.
Oh,
I really-
5-hour fight.
Because I really like silence and.
You're
hold
really
person.
quiet there, Joe. Doesn't sound
You
like your
are.
mic's on.
Yeah, you unplugged it accidentally. I'm guessing.
Yeah, we got to do something about this hag, man.
Oh, Megan,
and
we
also,
already did detect magic on the baby, and it was evil, or
It was
good and
evil.
evil. We did. I don't think detect magic would make a difference, would it?
I think. Oh no.
Why bother?
Yeah, because we know it's evil. We know it's a fiend. If that's magic.
And it uses magic, yeah.
You're a wizard, baby. Also, we should canvass the town a little bit too, especially like the priests. Be like, okay, well, we're gonna like take care of this hag. We're gonna need some silver. We're gonna go to the blacksmith, but this is something that might like directly benefit your town.
Yeah.
And still, we want to get paid.
No,
period.
not yet.
Well, we just want
settings.
silver. We want them
Change
to
the
invest.
settings.
I did.
Oh, okay, then no, it's not working.
Cool.
You guys know what I mean? Like we want them to invest in.
Yeah, I
us.
hear you. Like, yeah.
If they don't, then we're still gonna kill
Yeah.
it. But
No?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
better.
better.
Great.
I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just go ahead and say that Megan won our MVP XP. Chancellor Goots. Nicely
As
done.
she was the only person that got it right.
Yeah, and she even spelled it correctly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry
Sorry,
about whole
guys.
person. It doesn't work on hags, apparently.
Yeah, that's Kellen.
Did Joe just drop? Oh, I wonder.
Joe
if
just dropped off there, thinking that she's gonna have to get back on. Joe just dropped the stream. She probably hang up right now because she doesn't want to talk to you. Down, down,
No,
I'm
she's
back.
back now. She did it accidentally, I'm guessing.
Yes. I lost all of our group chat, so if someone could please
No.
Oh, perfect.
paste.
All
Nope.
the secrets are gone.
copy paste the name of that boy that I invented. Oh wait, no, I found
sorry.
it.
You
Idiot.
are
Copy-pasted
EENI.
everything. Sorry, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Whoops.
I
Oh,
just copy
man.
pasted everything.
I didn't know that about hold person. That's good. So that's
Yeah,
something
like
to-
what's the duration of that?
And it doesn't hold hags anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It's only for humanoids.
Yeah, I would have
A
read that
hag
and then
ain't a
pulled the card
humanoid.
out, so that's fine. I just didn't bother. Because I didn't think we'd have to. I didn't think fleeing would be a problem, but then I remembered I had a whole person. Then I would have looked at the cards, and I would have realized it would. So just save some time. Silence would still be nice, but I guess I don't have to rest because we don't have the ability to. So it's just going to be a combat-heavy scenario. I have healing and combat spells, so that'll be good.
So who got it right, Megan?
Yeah.
Yep. Chancellor Goop.
Chancellor Goots.
So I'm still thinking that we use the church as the base because I feel like any sort of religious benefit might be given. Who knows? Maybe she has an.
Okay, that's fair, but if you do it in the church, what? Okay, first of all, this is what I'm thinking. What if the thing can't enter the church?
Then that's
Right.
perfect. What is it going to do?
But if we're not going to be able to battle it,
They're
going
going to come to get the.
to it.
They're going to
Okay.
be able to enter the church.
Number 2, we set it up like the Lord of the Rings. Maybe I should wait till Justin.
I know what you're talking about with the stabbing the pillows and the fake.
Exactly.
But to what end?
We line it up so that it thinks we're all asleep and it can come and snatch the baby back. But that's the trap that we set for it.
I'm thinking more 13th Warrior, where we're all like. Right,
That's
so we're
the
still
idea.
there. Yeah, but if there's just pillows, then we're in the other building.
No, forget that. I just meant like the sleeping part.
Well, you
Like it
picked
thinks
the
we're
example.
sleeping.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're right.
I agree
You're
with
right.
playing
Let's do the 13th Warriors thing.
where we play like we're not
We're
expecting
sleeping.
it, but we are expecting
Like we're
Exactly.
Okay.
So we haven't actually slept since like midnight on the previous day.
it. Yeah.
So we are getting tired. Like
Well-
we'll need to actually sleep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we took a rest before we entered the hags, but it was a short rest.
Into the hags.
Well, it's what 4 or 5 o'clock now.
Okay,
We
then
don't really have a
why
chance
not?
because it's coming this
Why
night.
not rest in the church? Because then, if it can't come in, then we're not surprised.
Are we back in the game now? Basically.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, back to chapters. Mute when you blow your nose.
I meant to.
and
forgot I
cough.
What's that bump?
It's
that
Joe's
hub-
bumping. Joe's buzzing. Alex is coughing.
I'm not buzzing. I didn't buzz.
You're buzzing a bit, yeah.
Did I do that?
You gotta say that like Steve Urkel if you say that. You cannot quote a show and not make it sound like Steve Urkel.
Did I do that thing?
No, that was me.
So you changed the phrase and not the.
Did I do that?
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, chapters of the Undefeated, episode 9.
Second half.
This child needs to die. And I look to Quintus and Tados, who have obviously been debating this, and to Leah as well, and I say, this child is a fiend. We cannot save it. The baby lotus that Liam Nee lost was consumed by the hag mother, and this was birthed. Do not think of this as a human. This is evil, and we will have to end its life. But right now, we need to figure out a way to combat this hag. We need silver weapons, and we need a place. And I turn towards Constance and I say, I feel like we should use the church to slay this beast.
Use the church?
Yes.
Yes.
Use the church. Yes.
I suppose you could, if you have no better options.
These thick walls will be beneficial, and any sort of religious negativity that the hag doesn't like might be in our favor.
Perhaps.
And I tug at Graham's arm.
But Graham, what if the hag cannot come inside of these walls?
I highly
It's
doubt
good to get rest, but this is not a good place to have a battle.
Perhaps, maybe, yes, but I don't think that would be the case. And I turn to Creanie, and I say, do you have any reason to think that a hag wouldn't be able to enter this building?
No,
That's
none whatsoever.
Like, it goes through ethereal walls, Alex, like Earth had.
Ethereal. The ethereal
Ethereal.
plane is a plane that is exactly on top of our own material plane, meaning you can pass through solid objects, no problem.
Yeah, like,
But-
it's not going to be an issue.
But
Did we
not
not-
our spirit.
Did
Sorry,
we not
Quintus.
try to, when we were dealing with the succubus, didn't we have a problem? We tried to use some sort of religious symbol on it, and it did nothing. Isn't that right? Do you remember that?
Maybe. I don't
I don't remember. Creanie, you are
don't remember.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Where did you learn all of this stuff?
I want to talk to him so much more.
We have to go for coffee later. What are you doing after this?
well-
And he's
He's
like,
like, after I live here, this is what I do every day.
he's like, oh, okay.
Do you know?
And Joe's like, I really feel like a coffee. I think I'll have a coffee after.
Do you know of anything that would help us in defeating this hag? Do you know of any way that we'd be able to trap it? Any way to bind it? Any tips? Any advice? Can you help us?
Courage.
Is that just a general statement, or is that something more specific?
No, it's very general, and I already told you about the silver weapons, so I really hope you follow my advice.
It's our next step.
Yes.
Are you a fighter?
No, of course not.
Would any of you be willing to help us? I turn to Constance and then that other priest that we didn't really talk to.
What?
The human.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
there was silver. Do you have any that you'd be able to spare to help us?
Silver what?
Silver anything that the blacksmith can melt down for us.
Oh, the blacksmith merely furnished us with some very beautiful candelabras.
That will do perfectly well.
I'm sorry.
To melt down and build weapons.
You intend to melt down our candelabras?
If it's
We-
required.
We intend to destroy this hag, and if we're going to do it successfully, we need help. And if you have silver that you can spare for the good of this town, which obviously seems to need the help, I believe that perhaps silver could definitely help us. Now, if you do not want to help us, then that's fine. We'll find other means because this needs to be done.
Roll persuasion.
All right.
Maybe the blacksmith has silver weapons already made.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably, but they might also donate to our cause.
Yeah, and if not, and if he
We can
does, then
sell-
just
we can
bring
sell
the
the silver.
back. Exactly.
All right. Let's roll 1d20 persuasion. I rolled an 11.
He says, if you talk with the blacksmith and it turns out that you need them, then you may take them. But
All right.
I prefer
fair.
if it was just a backup plan.
That
These
is
are
fair.
religious accoutrement.
I agree. We do not want to.
What
mess with
language is that?
accoutrement.
It's draconic.
Oh, I thought so.
Strange language.
Especially if it's from Quebec.
We can always
Right,
just try to
well-
steal them. And then if we
Number
get caught,
one,
we can do a
I
second
say we
witness.
go to the blacksmiths and get us some silver weapons. And then I need some sleep because, quite frankly, my skin is getting scaly again. It was
Yeah,
a joke. Let's go.
I'm tired too.
What do we do with this baby in the meantime? I agree with you, Tados. We need to go to the blacksmith, but we can't take the baby with us through town.
Sister Constance is like, you can leave him here if you'd like.
Do you have a silver box?
Let's just not come back.
I do not have a silver box. We have the candelabras that Brother Carini was mentioning.
and I pick up I pick up a candelabra and I put it into the baby's kind of possession. What does it do?
You give the baby the candelabra.
Yeah.
Sort of
Being
like
that it's silver.
it's heavy. The baby like holds it for a minute and tries to like. No, it's like a 2-week-old baby. It doesn't do anything. It just lays there.
But it doesn't like hiss and burn, right?
No.
Okay. Well, it's silver,
Are
right?
you stabbing the baby with the silver candelabra? Okay,
no,
well, it's fine.
Not breaking skin. Just
You bludgeoning it? No. Okay.
Well, I wonder what would happen if we poured the blood on the silver, just to file these accoutrements.
Do you do it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, we've got to go to the blacksmith. We can't eat tatty.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't need to go blacksmith. I don't need a silver weapon. You're the one
Stay
who
here
uses
with
the
the
weapon.
child.
Yeah. I want to ask him about like things like this. The
Come on, Leah. Come on, Quintus.
Yeah, I want a silver weapon.
We
That sounds
must.
fucking badass.
We must gather. Graham, stay here with the baby and Creenie.
That's such an awkward name to say.
Yeah, creamy.
It's say it with.
Sounds like Queenie,
Say
but
it-
Creenie.
It's Creenie.
Creenie.
You'll get it
Creenie.
sometime.
All right, Creenie.
And I wouldn't. Yeah, because I don't even have like I have like a dagger at most, like a short sword. I don't think I would need.
Yeah, we're not gonna have enough money to silver weapons for everybody. That's for sure.
And I just use magic anyway. And then I sit down with my book and I just start asking him some questions. I do want to just show him that symbol that we found in the tree of the hag and see if it means anything to him.
You show him the symbol. Okay.
This one.
Yeah, I know the one that you're talking about.
Do you now? It's like you drew it or something? God.
It's almost like I invented it.
Oh, whoa. Invented.
He looks at it for a little while and he's like,
No, this does not ring any bells for me. I'm sorry.
Do you have any idea what it could pertain to? Is it maybe a letter, or like is it a map? Does it speak to anything whatsoever?
It does not. It's not any arcane rune or illustration of a being or creature I can recall. I'm sorry, Brother Graham.
That's all right. And then in the meantime, while they roleplay that, I'm going to ask him things about like if God's power would affect him, like radiant damage, or like just see if there's anything that he'd be able to share in that regard.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry. I told you everything that I know.
You know very little.
I know far more than you.
Well, not anymore.
okay, so the three of us are on our way to the blacksmith. It's around 6 o'clock. It's getting a little bit dark. The rain is sort of abated. The clock towers are all still chiming, the bells in the churches. I guess it's like a mournful peal because of Mayor or Chancellor Grootz's passing. And as we pass through the town looking for the blacksmith, because we don't really have any specific directions, we recognize that there are still a lot of people on the streets. We recognize that there are actually roll perception for me, both of you.
We will roll perception.
And I'm going to roll for Leah as well.
I did not bad.
I did terrible
I
again.
also did very badly.
Man, that's 2 1s and a 4 today.
What'd you roll, Justin?
Jeez. 17.
Nice.
Nice.
Justin, you recognize that there are a small band of people who are dressed really shabbily. Looks like they've been on the road for a long time. They're clearly carrying all of their worldly possessions with them in a cart that they're actually pulling. That was probably outfitted for a horse at one point. That they're just pulling themselves.
And
And what
Cool.
else? We're actually not going down past what's his name's place, Liam Nee's, or the Central Exchange. So we don't see anything around there. But we do notice these people, and they're sort of like going up to the taverns and inquiring about rates to stay out of the rain and stuff, and moving on.
I tap Taros and Leah on the shoulder, and I point to them. And do they look well battled?
They don't look like they've been injured. There's no blood on their clothes. They just look like exhausted and yeah, harried.
All right. Well,
What are you thinking, Tados?
they seem out of place for this town. I wonder why they're here.
Is that our business? I don't know. We're just looking for a blacksmith.
That's true.
It's true.
It's true. But, well, keep an eye out for them later. If the blacksmith, if we see them again after the blacksmith, I would like to say hello.
And we pass a low building that has dark soot belching out of 2 chimneys that are on a red tile roof. There's a sign that's sort of swinging in the light breeze with a hammer and tongs on it.
That looks good.
We enter, I presume, and there is a lizard folk man working the forges.
Haven't we been here before?
Nope.
Nay, we went to the blacksmith
Oh.
in the last town.
That was a
Zenithan.
that was a
Zoan.
dragonborn. Yeah, similar.
Right.
This guy
Okay.
is like lizard folk. I don't know if they're very rare, but he's similarly built to the last blacksmith that we met.
Dr. Connor.
Oh, I forget what the blacksmith's name was in the last place, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this
Good
guy
evening.
puts aside his hammer. Oh yes, hello. What can I do for you?
A fellow scaly skin, and I put my hand out.
Hello. Yeah, he grasps your hand with a clawed green hand. The name is Zasuka.
Meryl is the last guy, by the way.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Merle. That's right. Yes.
Or Merle, I don't know. M-E-R-Y.
Merle. Yeah.
Merle.
Nice to meet you, Zasuka.
Zasuka, yes.
Zasuka.
Hello. How can I help you?
Zasuka. What are you guys?
Whether
like,
or not you have
Tongue
any-
slithers out of his mouth as he's talking to you, like tasting the
Zasuka.
air around you.
We're wondering whether or not you have any silver weapons here.
And before you answer, let me tell you this. We're on a mission. And let me ask you this, Zazuka, whatever the hell your name is. Tell me this. Have you been having nightmares?
Nightmares? No, of course not. What do you take me for? Some kind of child or
I wanna
Woman.
roll an
Insight.
insight thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I should not be rolling. This is a 4.
Yeah, it's bound to your luck is bound to turn
So
up.
6. 6 total.
Yeah, he looks really strong. He's kind of sweaty.
That's a strong lizard. The reason we ask is that a number of the other townsfolk have been having nightmares, and we've been tasked by the late Chancellor now to figure out what is going on, and we believe we have a lead, but it requires silver weapons to make sure that we can actually defeat whatever it is that is causing these.
Ah, yes, of course, silver weapons. Well, of course, you need them to kill specific creatures. I know about this as a man of iron and steel, of course.
Good. So you can help us.
I can make you silver weapons.
Excellent.
Yes.
You
We're
didn't
in
have any
business.
here on the racks?
Oh, their specialty, of course.
All right. Well, do you have any silver ingots here, or would we need to provide our own silver?
Oh, no, you do not provide your own silver.
Good.
I request 75 gold pieces for silvering, and I need your weapon for 1 day.
One day that's not going to cut it. We need it for tonight.
And in fact, 75 gold per weapon is not going to work either.
Well, how do you expect to get a silver weapon if you have no time, no money?
Well, first of
Thought
all,
you'd
sir,
say that.
you seem like a top-rate blacksmith.
Yes, I am, of course. You
Aye.
can see my work here. He shows
I
you
can see
a
your
rack
work.
of impressive weapons.
It is truly impressive, and I do believe, now maybe I'm just acting on faith here, but I am a man of faith, and I believe that someone like you would be able to pull it off if the price was right. Am I wrong?
Maybe what you propose.
Well, I also propose this. I propose that this is an investment opportunity on your part. You see, we are traveling mercenaries. We travel the land and we kill monsters. And just last week, we downed a succubus back in the
Yes.
last town.
In fact, my colleague here, Quintus, is underplaying us. Not only do we kill monsters, we slay the beasts. We slay them, meaning that we not only put them down out of their misery, but we save the innocent. We save those who are less fortunate, even people that may have certain skills, like yourself, but may not be able to protect themselves.
But surely you can protect yourself. That's
Of course,
of course.
not in question here.
Not a question.
Yes.
But where I'm going with this is that we travel a lot, we speak with lots of people, and we have a lot of influence. In fact, we are from a band called The Undefeated. Have you heard of The Undefeated?
Oh, I don't know that I have, no.
Well, that surprises me. That surprises me greatly. You must be in here too busy with your work to have heard something as big as The Undefeated, eh?
Well, and he's like wiping some soot off of his scaly jaw. As you can see, I have many clients, lots of work to do.
Would you like more clients?
Certainly, I have my own debts, as many people do.
Would you like to have a reputation that would warrant and allow you to charge more for your weapons?
Who are you?
My name is Quintus Lancaster, from House Lancaster. Have you heard of us?
Oh, House Lancaster, yes. From the southwest, correct?
That is correct.
What county?
Holston County.
Holston, yes.
Not too far from here.
No, just down the way. Yes, House Lancaster, of course.
Aye. My father and our house is involved with The Undefeated. And we are very powerful. We have a lot of influence. My father, he is the man who's able to make or break. He could make or break any company here in the realm, pretty much, with his
Is that
wealth.
a threat, Mr.
Yeah.
Lancaster?
Nay, of course not. It is an opportunity.
An opportunity which, if you do not seize it now, we'll have no other choice but to take our business elsewhere, Mr. Zusaska. Now, that's not...
It's Zasuka!
Zasuka. How did I write that down? Zasuka. I did write Zasuka. I just
I'm very sorry, Mr. Zasuka. Please understand us. We are not looking to bargain. We're not looking to... Let me jump to the chase. If you give us these silver weapons, we will be able to repay you. Likely more than $75 per weapon. Likely in the range of $100, maybe even $200 per weapon. This would be, as a lawyer would call it, pro bono work. We pay you only after the fact that the beast has been slayed, but we do this out of our own hearts.
Nay, that is mostly true. But because we know you are a man of repute and a skilled blacksmith, we are willing to put down a deposit. of 20 gold pieces per weapon. And afterwards, once we have tested the weapons to make sure that they are proper form for a Lancaster to use, we would send the rest of the money, and I'm sure I'd be able to convince my father to send perhaps double the amount that you quoted us.
Roll persuasion, both of you.
All right.
But let me finish off.
Okay.
Not only that, but we would also include these special items. And I pull out my expensive looking knives that I picked up a while ago, and I don't know where, but I have them written in my inventory here.
I think you
Expensive.
I
From
think
the
you stole them from the
Succubus's house.
Yeah, the captain of the guard, and they're literally like
Dinner
butter
knives.
knives. Like
Yeah.
steak knives.
But they're expensive looking.
Yeah, they are expensive.
So I read that.
Yeah.
And I put down my bone quarterstaff.
And this is very special to me, and I do want it back.
And so with that, I will roll persuasion.
And I would like to...
Fuck me.
Zia, is this a cause that you can back here with your XP
Yeah,
that you put
so
down
you
earlier?
guys can plea with the community for a little bit of help because
I've already rolled, but
Zasuka is unimpressed, I will say. You'll need a pretty high persuasion.
Zasuka is unimpressed, or Joe is unimpressed.
Zasuka is unimpressed because this is a man who likes money.
Aye.
Well,
we're promising lots of money.
Yeah, I know, but
We're hoping he's like a pyramid scheme type, like he likes money. He likes the idea of money.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't believe you guys yet. Okay, so Zia wants to throw in a XP to give one of you advantage. So Justin, you can roll 2d20s and take the higher.
Awesome.
Thank you, Zia.
Awesome. Thank you, Zia. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're giving it to Justin, though.
Yeah, because you already rolled.
All right.
Well, I can't roll a second, though.
No, because you already rolled.
Us Guthrie's, eh?
I rolled a 20.
Okay.
Don't give me that look, Harlan. You do it all the time. You're like,
So-
can I roll advantage on that one?
Can I just roll that one more time? Just one more again?
It's like
I never do that.
You
did it
fucking always.
one time.
literally.
one time.
Ah,
You're like, oh shoot, I forgot the
I
that
do not do
advantage
that.
roll with the plus
Bull-
D6. Can I just roll the D6 now?
Shit.
Zasuka kind of paces a wide circle around the three of us with his hands crossed in front of him. And his tongue is slithering in and out. He's tasting the air around the three of you. And he looks at you, Quintus, and he says, Lancaster. Well, you may be using the name and not part of the family whatsoever, but something tells me you are an upstanding man. I'll tell you what. I have 2 knives silvered here that I will lend you for the price of 20 gold. You can have them tonight if you bring them back tomorrow with a promise of work.
Work.
Yes. You either buy more weapons from me directly, or Zasuka gets business from this, whatever, undefeated thing.
All right.
You can test the product, as it were.
I see what you're saying. I will put down another 10 gold if you were to equip my spear with one of those knives.
I tell you, I need a day to make that spear, and it is a fine weapon, to make the spear a silver item.
Fair enough.
What are you
Two
doing,
knives.
Alex?
I'm asking just to pause just yet before paying the man.
What?
I realize that we are all not only are we're and this is where I'm going. Not only are we charging up for a fight, we're also charging up for arrest, I believe, coming up, because I think we need to prepare some spells and stuff anyways.
Yeah, we need to rest.
But
So I'm gonna cast charm spell and used up one of my slots, because if we're gonna rest anyways,
You can definitely try to charm him. So Zasuka's gonna. Do you
roll
have?
his will.
Yeah. Do you have spell slots left?
I had I do.
Okay. I'm gonna roll.
This is my third if we're counting last game.
Yeah, we have to. Is it a wisdom save? Yeah. Ooh, okay. That is a 9 versus your
13.
Yeah, so you charm him. He is acting towards you as if you guys are friendly. Essentially, that he's known you for a while, and you guys are compadres, basically.
So with that, I kind of try to
I'm
jump
gonna give you
into a
inspiration
conversation.
for that. Nice.
Oh, thank you.
That was a good charm.
Yeah.
I kind of jump into conversation with it. I don't come out brand new. I kind of say,
Excellent. So that will work very well. We will take the 2 knives and the other. What was the other item of silver that you had? The other items.
Ha ha! Yes, of course, my friend. There was one more knife around here somewhere. Just one moment. And he goes into his back room for a second, leaving the 3 of us alone.
excellent.
And Leah looks at Tato. She's like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" She gives you like a
actually
little
worked.
high five.
And I do a low 5 like this.
Yeah. And then he comes back. He's like polishing this blade on his side. It is a. What is it? It's just a short sword.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a silver short sword and 2 knives.
2 silver daggers.
And he's like, "So, you're gonna bring those back to me tomorrow? No charge, of course, for my friends. You let me
course,
know if this works
Zasuka.
out for you."
And just as we discussed, once we defeat this beast, you will be paid handsomely. That is what friends are for.
Of course! And he
And
grabs all 3 of us in
Yeah.
like this giant bear hug. He's like, "Ho ho ho! You stay dry now, little man."
And I grab all 3 and I hand
ask
the
him to help
short
us
sword.
fight.
He's not a fighter. He's a blacksmith.
I thought he was a huge dude.
He's
Yeah,
huge.
He's pretty huge.
He's like built the same way the other guy was, who was a fighter.
Quintus?
We leave the shop with the.
I hand the short sword to Quintus, being the most prolific with.
Cool.
The right word?
Thank you. That was
Proficient.
Proficient. Thank you.
absolutely awe-inspiring. Well done, Tados.
Oh,
We
no
needed
problem.
that win.
And I hand one of the daggers to Leah, and I take the other.
Nice. Sing, sing, sing. She's like
Whoa, watch it easy
yanking
with that.
like shadows in town practicing. And we walk back to the church. Where are we going? Actually, why don't we touch base with Graham? What's up, Graham? What have you been doing this whole time?
In the meantime, I've been clearing the space of all the pews. I've been like getting them to like prep the area, basically.
So we've like closed the church for the day. We've
Exactly.
stopped the ringing of the bell.
Put
What
all
else
the
are you doing?
candles out. I put religious artifacts over all the entrances. I also want to know which is closest to the river, because I assume she'd be approaching from the river based on the fact that
Yeah,
she
we already
travels that.
determined that this church is sort of on the outskirts of town.
Yeah. So, obviously that it would be either one side or the other side. So that would be the door that I would assume is the point of entry. Is sort of where I'm coming at. I also want to ask any of the priests or priestesses about the ethereal plane, and because I want to know as much as I can about that, if any of them know anything about that. So I don't know what you'd like me to roll on that if they do.
Yeah, I mean, Karini already sort of told you a little bit what he knows about the ethereal plane.
Do the other 2 know anymore? The reason being is this: we know that the creature's going to flee. It's easy to assume that the creature's going to flee and turn and run out the door. But if she's ethereal, that means she can go through any fucking wall, which makes it very, very difficult to stop her. And based on the previous attack that she failed in, the woman who tried to kill the hag before, She just basically fleed, and we don't want her to flee. So I'm trying to figure out anything I can real quick about that plane while we're like clearing the floor. If there's a way to stop it, you know what I mean? Like, is there a way to cast something that materializes ethereal?
Yeah,
Like
so
put up walls. Put up ethereal
Carini is
walls.
like grabbing the other side of a pew as you are like directing him to move it, you know, over to the side. The two of you are like lifting this furniture, and you're like, you know, by the way, tell me more about this thing. And he's like, well, it's been so long since I've really spoken with any arcanist about the ethereal plane, but I have known people in my life who have been an elder in my community where I grew up, used to travel there. The ethereal plane said it was kind of gray and washed out world, that you could see all of the landscapes and edifices that you would in the material plane. You could sense beings, see creatures moving the same as you would if you were in the material plane. Different, but the same somehow.
Did he ever tell you anything was different? Anything restricted his ability to pass through walls?
He said it was dangerous, that you could not come back into the material plane within a solid object, for example. That it cost him extra energy and movement to travel through the ethereal plane. And so I imagine this hag is not traveling in the ethereal plane for the majority of the time, merely for increments.
Right, which would mean, and I tell him basically my concern about her fleeing, which then would make me want to know how far we are from the river as well, based on the outskirts of town, meaning that if she's going to flee...
Yeah, we're like, I don't know, half a K away?
Okay.
400 meters?
Right, and...
like, we can see the river down, like, the riverbank, but
yeah.
it's like, far enough.
That's fine. Again, I just don't want to get it there, and she's like, poof, and we're like, fuck. And then I mean, there's no balm or anything I can, like, rub on a wall to, like, eliminate this being passable. It's like,
A bomb?
spray them all down.
A bomb into a church?
Then the last thing occurs to Graham himself is, as I was sitting here thinking and making notes, this is a nightmare fucking haunter, right? So if we sleep to rest up, we need to be real careful about where we sleep and how we're going to sleep, because this thing now knows we've taken its child, assuming it has some connection to it. It's probably really going to fuck with our minds while we're sleeping. So he's thinking about this, ready to tell them that when we come back, which is why I'm very nervous about going to sleep.
Now that
And
we
at
have
that
those,
moment, sorry, Justin, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Meta, now that we have those priests, though, they would probably be able to stay awake while we sleep.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
not a
it's
bad idea.
not like it's not like it's 5 o'clock
Oh.
in the morning.
Which then makes me think, and I turn to Constance and I say, do you have a protection from good and evil spell in those tomes?
I didn't prepare it today, Graham. I'm sorry. I can use that spell, yes, but it was not among the spells that I typically prepare.
What about you two? I point to the other two.
And
Worthless.
I need a rest.
let me roll a dice to
I'm
see
just thinking
if they
if
have
they-
or not.
Because I'm gonna do that myself tomorrow, but they could possibly protect us from certain types of creatures, which might mean the haunting
Yeah.
in the night.
Let's say I'm gonna roll a d4. 1 and 2, one of them has. 3 and 4, neither of them have. So 1 and 2, yes.
Hold on to your butts. Yes.
Hey. So Brother Creany is like,
Yes, indeed. I did prepare that spell.
Would you be able to cast that on us while we rest?
Oh,
Protection from
well,
fiends.
Protection from good and
evil. I believe that lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, never mind. That doesn't really work then.
it could be a useful.
Yeah, it's concentration up
perhaps-
to 10 minutes.
It could be a useful spell at a specific point during the
Oh.
night.
Well, yes,
I
if you see
can-
us, maybe having a nightmare, you could cast it on us.
Yes, I can cast this up to.
How many first level spell slots do you have? 4?
Yes.
I can cast this spell up to 4 times tonight.
Okay. I think that'd be a good idea. If you can stay up and watch us, and if you see us maybe tossing and turning in our sleep, if you can cast that, I feel like we need some sort of protection from the nightmares.
That's probably a good idea, Graham. I'm gonna give you inspiration.
Wow. Good call there,
Nicely
Graham.
done.
Thank you. I was like sitting here making notes like, okay, other things we need to remember. I'm like, yeah, these nightmares are going to be fucked.
Good fucking call.
You're so disappointed as the GM, I can tell. You were so excited.
No, that's great. I mean, shit's still gonna go down, but I think that's really great that you thought about that.
Oh,
Okay, so we make it back into the chapel, or is there anything else we wanted to do in the meantime? Anyone else we wanted to check up on?
Does inspiration
any other places we wanted to go?
Exit permission? Like, because I got one last game I didn't use and I missed it, right?
We'll just let them pile up. It doesn't matter. In D&D, inspiration is like if we're playing by the rules, just so everyone knows, in 5th edition, you either have inspiration or you don't. You are either inspired or not. But we've been fucking with the rules a little bit. So Graham now has 2 inspiration, and I believe Justin Quintus has 1.
I don't believe
or Tados.
so.
I don't fucking remember. Oh, Tados. I just gave it to Tados.
So,
what did you give me?
Inspiration, my friend.
Right. Yes, you did. Yeah.
All right. Then I also, so we clear the spots. I show them where we're at. I'm like, this is the door facing towards the river. We know she travels on the river. This is where she's most likely going to come from. I remind them that she passes through the ethereal plane, so that she can kind of just float through any wall she wants to.
We've got these silver weapons. We've got 2 knives and a short sword. And it occurred to me on my way back, just some random thoughts. The community reminded me that Duralin is magic. And so Creamy wasn't sure whether or not magic was effective on this thing, but if it is, then I think you guys should take the other weapons.
In which case...
Yep, Duralin is a magical weapon.
In which case, then the short sword should go to Leah, and I'll take the dagger if that ends up being the case. I guess we wouldn't know until, though.
The short sword like a long sword, or like a bastard sword with Leah?
Oh yeah, fuck. It is a short sword is actually a light weapon, so that's no problem.
Okay. All right, and we get in our sleeping bags, and
yeah, we get out our bedrolls. We have a little slumber party.
And I guess prepare. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess that's it. Is there anything else you guys needed to talk about or figure out?
We didn't make use of the writ from the Chancellor, really.
Does anyone need any healing?
My thinking that
I'm fine.
That Groot died to sort of discount that. No, I mean, this is so meta, but I'm just thinking Graham would have thought that guy's dead. Then it's sort of going to be tough to enforce his word.
Yeah, true.
That was sort of my
thought. What guy is this?
Chancellor Groot died.
Oh,
last night.
yeah.
I thought it was
Goots.
Yeah.
Sorry, Goot.
Now you're...
I am Groot.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that movie.
Chancellor Good.
Chancellor Goots.
Groot, don't make me run.
Yeah, no, I have no preparation. I just want to rest and regain my spell slots, and I have no health to regain because you guys were fantastic last game.
So, what are our direct and specific instructions to the clergy for tonight?
Directly to stay awake, watch us as we sleep, and
so they.
It's not really night. It's not really night either.
yeah,
It's
we're going
like-
to bed early.
It's like coming up on 7.
Yeah, so we're.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We haven't slept since we woke up at midnight last
I'll be
night.
up at 3. Yeah.
Don't open the door for anybody.
Okay. No, this is good. Continue.
If we look like we're in some issue while we're sleeping, cast that spell.
Okay.
I forget what the name of the spell is.
Protection from evil and good.
Right. If we look like we're in turmoil during our sleep, having nightmares, let's put it that way. If we look like we're having nightmares, any one of us cast it on all 3 of us.
And then
The target is one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Creatures of those type have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. Target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them if the target already has blah blah blah. Yeah.
Zia makes a good point. Thank you, Zia.
For once.
Someone to keep an eye on the baby.
That's what I was just waiting for my turn to talk. I was just going to say.
Sorry.
The other thing. No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
I appreciate Zia saying it as well. The other thing I was going to say is Graham would have gone out to like any sort of store and found some way to get like a cage, like for a chicken or whatever, like a literal cage of iron.
Well, we're out of chicken cages, but we got these baby cages.
Well, that actually serves my purpose that much better. But for real,
How many
like,
weeks old is your baby?
I want a thick, sturdy iron. I mean, I'm not going to guess for silver, but an iron cage, and it's going to be right in the fucking center where we're sleeping.
That'll be 2 gold pieces.
That's fine. I'm going to use it from the communal gold, FYI.
Great.
And I'm going to nail it into the fucking wall with a chain.
As soon as he gets back, I'm like, whoa! We didn't agree on purchasing that cage.
Do you have a receipt?
Better return.
We will not reimburse without a receipt.
There's like a little scrap of parchment that says 1 baby cage.
But it's scratched out. Just
what was this? Did we get a baby cage at some point, like a year later?
Oh yeah, that was us.
We're being audited. Where's the baby cage? All right. So the baby is going to be in the cage in the center of the room, nailed with a chain into the stone of the floor.
And is there any reason that we need to be woken up? Like, if something happens, that we should be interrupted, or?
If the witch arrives, if the hag arrives. I mean, let's put. I made this.
The hag arrives.
The surrounding with a little bell, so it'll ring.
So if Karini sees a hag to wake us up.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, or if you detect anything. I mean, I don't know.
An ugly woman.
Is there any other spells that they have? Would they have detect magic, maybe?
I really didn't plan on statting out just like random dudes. Let me quickly look up.
Didn't do all of the work.
I did so much work. Okay, priest. Let me see here. Has light, sacred flame, thaumaturgy, cure wounds, guiding bolt, sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Lesser restoration, spiritual weapon. I don't want quite priest. Okay, we'll go with priest. It's going to be a modified priest.
If things are going wrong, and you can't, if you want to wake someone up, wake me up first. I don't need the rest as long as these ones. Actually, I'll be meditating, won't I? As a house elf?
Yeah, so you don't really need to sleep.
Cool.
Yeah, you won't be sleeping.
Perfect.
It's a great point.
I feel like this thing's gonna be really fucking quiet. Is there anything? And I talked to the priest about this. I feel like this hag is gonna be silent as the night. Is there anything that you have, or anyone can think of, that would give us an aid in knowing this creature arrives? You know, some sort of.
Well, I don't know, because if the creature is traveling in the ethereal plane, as we suspect, it won't actually be on this plane of existence.
And there's no way we can track that plane. No one has access to that.
And Leah's like, fuck. Fuck! I could have taken a spell. I should have learned it, and I didn't learn it, but I should have learned it, and I didn't learn it.
Well, why don't you take... Oh, you didn't take it. You didn't learn it.
Wizards have to learn spells. Fuck. I'm so sorry.
You should have known this. You're the one who ran this game. As GM and Leah, you're in charge of making sure you know the shit that you need to know. Meta knowledge.
So that's not something you can go to sleep and then pick it later.
No, but she's like, there's a spell called See Invisibility where I can see invisible creatures, and then I can also see into the ethereal plane. But I didn't learn that at this level. I just learned Blur and Scorching Ray because I figured I would need to be blurry and
at this level.
Fire.
Well,
sorry. I can do it next level. I will totally do that next level.
All right, Leah, don't beat yourself up over it.
Sorry, guys.
No, don't be sorry.
Nah,
it's what we choose.
First.
I recently just learned the spells of Hellish Rebuke.
What is that?
And it's a reactionary sort of spell that I can cast flames around a being But it's really only meant to be as a reaction.
That sounds fascinating. I can't
I
wait
wish
to see it.
And
I
we're all
can't do
like
it.
getting into our like cozy sleeping bags, and we're like, I imagine that we all kind of have like heads together, sort of like.
Yeah.
I know that you guys have never done like the, 13-year-old girl sleepover.
Yeah,
Well,
Justin,
Harlan-
we've never
We've
done that.
never done that.
Harlan, Justin, and I we're all scouts, and
Oh yeah.
if I could speak for the three of us, it's like
Chris
lights out at 9 o'clock, and then by 10:30, everybody falls asleep after like conversation
And
after
giggling.
After
Who do you
giggling,
like?
So much giggles.
So cute.
Yeah, hours of conversation. So I'm sure they're sort of the same thing, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're all kind of like in our bedrolls, but we're still like chatting.
Jeff M says Graham's kicking his feet in the air.
So
Yes.
cute. And we eventually fall asleep. Let me just do a little bit of rolling off camera here.
God damn it.
Off camera rolling time, off camera rolling time. If you are just listening,
All right.
Joe's rolling some dice.
So around it's hard to tell what time it is, but the moon is out. And Carini has been trying his very best to keep watch over the four of us. And his eyes have been drooping a little bit, but overall he's been doing a really good job. And he sort of feels a shiver in the air. He draws his cloak more tightly about him as he sits in the pews watching our party slumber. And he's got a candle just sitting beside him, and the candle gusts out. He's like, oh, fuck. It's going down right now. And he's just watching. Nothing's happening that he can see in the room. And all of a sudden, Graham starts to groan and mutter in his sleep. And Carini is not sure at first whether this is something that is unusual, whether he needs to start casting his divine magics. And then Graham starts to make more of a clamor.
Get off it, it's not here. Sorry.
And Carini takes his feet and sort of starts pacing around the group, and he's holding his divine symbol of Lathander and casting it around the room. He's whispering into the dark, beware, hag, you stay away from these do-gooders.
Do-gooders?
Whatever. And he's sort of like taking strides around the four of you protectively, and Graham, you sort of subside for a minute. And Graham, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. It's as if you are in dark water and you're drowning. It's a terrifying feeling. There's a weight on your chest. You can't breathe. You see a ghostly face in front of you. It's the face of someone you know because you've thought about them so many times. Someone who you killed.
I see his face before me.
What does it look like?
It's a young man in his 30s. Yes.
His hair is sort of moving in the water. He's not drowning. He's just looking at you.
No, I'm sorry. I was young. I was mad. I was naive. Please.
It's an accusing stare. How did you murder him?
I leapt on him in the pouring rain. From behind a barrel I hid. With my daggers clutched in my hand, I drove them into his chest over and over, my knees pressing him against the wet mud.
And as you remember this, the water darkens all around him, swirling, the blood coming from his body. He floats away from you a little bit, and as he comes closer towards you, his face has changed. It is a gnarled face,
waxy, sallow skin hanging off of her bones. Red eyes looking at you. Stark, knotted hair moving around in the water. And you realize you're staring at the face of a hag. She reaches out for you with her claws, and you wake up. As Karini standing over you, casting a spell, this protection spell, chanting an incantation.
I say, everyone wake! They're here.
Leah's like,
You wake all of us?
what?
Why not?
Graham,
She's
what's
here.
wrong?
Or I guess she could be just affecting my dream. Right?
What's going on? What do you see?
Karini's like, he was screaming, and I thought you told me that I should cast a spell on him.
She was there. She was in my
Absolutely.
dream. She had leaned forward. I saw her face.
I didn't have any dreams.
I know, but I did. She's here. Thank you for telling me that. She's here.
And we look around, and there's no one. There's
What's the
no
baby doing?
sound. So tell me about the baby. The baby you said was in a cage, chained.
Yeah, so there's a
To-
cage with a chain on it, and the chain is nailed into the ground. And it's like thick iron cage.
The baby's still there. The baby's kind of like
Cypher
mewling.
just like chilling, like leaning against the bar.
Yeah. Just like watching you like,
like-
bitch, please.
What the fuck are you doing? My mom's coming.
The baby's kind of mewling because it was awakened by our like noise, but is still around.
I get the I think it's here, but I guess it could have been casting it from wherever. But I think it's upon us. So we've been sleeping for what, 4 hours?
Yeah, about 4 hours. No, it's 6 hours.
Oh, okay. You
4 in the
Yeah.
morning? That'd
Yeah.
be 8 hours. Cause
Oh,
we
it's
still...
4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's coming up on 4.
Oh yeah, you said we went to bed at
Ish.
7.
Yeah,
So yeah.
So
it's
we got a full
day.
night's rest.
It didn't
yeah, it's
attack
coming
us.
up on there.
Interesting. It didn't attack us in the middle of the night. Interesting.
Well, it kind of is.
Do you want to roll wisdom on that?
Yes, I do. Very much so. Because the creature said that it would come in the middle of the night and kill us for the baby. Natural 20.
Fuck yeah. You sort of piece together that this hag probably had to spend the better part of the night finding out who you were. That she noticed her baby was gone in the middle of the day when she came back home, and then had to make her way back to town against the current on the river as she does, and had to float around through the nightmares of as many people in the town as she could before
Back
she
to town?
located her child.
You mean she came from town?
I'm sorry?
You said she had to come back to town.
Right, because she was returning by river.
From an unknown place. But we now assume it was the town.
Sure. I mean, I presumed that you knew that she was haunting people's nightmares.
I didn't think she'd have to be here to do that, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I did.
Oh, I didn't think that. So then she is here.
Really?
Because she's haunting me now.
Yeah, she wouldn't be doing it from so far away. Maybe she's outside the building.
She's
Maybe
probably,
she's right here.
or she's in the ethereal plane
Mm.
and is able to affect us from there.
I think that's probably the right sort of idea. From what I heard from Karini, that, she could just be there and she's here, but she's not here. She's probably listening to us right now. God, that's creepy. Get the fuck out of this church!
Could be creepy. Could be to our advantage. Listen here, bitch.
Yo, she bitch. Listen up.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what you want with us, but we've got your child, and we're ready to hold on to it until you come get it. I don't know if that was really the right thing to say, guys.
You hear a knock on the door.
Can someone get that, please? I'm trying to eat.
Sorry, Louie. My dog just freaked out. Yeah, there's a big knock on the doors of the cathedral.
And I point to Constance, and I nod to her, for her to cast Detect Good and Evil at the door.
Mm-hmm. And as Sister Heather Constance begins her incantation, the door starts to shake on its hinges.
Well, then why knock?
And as she finishes her incantation and gives you guys kind of a wordless head shake with her eyes wide, the doors open.
I cast!
Do it.
What do you cast?
Blindness, deafness.
Okay, tell me about that spell.
I can blind or deafen a foe. Choose one creature that you can see within range. Do I see anything when the door opens?
Yes, there is a figure standing in the door.
It's like a young kid asking for, like, money.
I mean,
Toppins.
you said that you cast a spell before you saw who it was. So
yeah, I know. I figured.
continue casting this spell, and then
I feel like blindness is safe even if something bad happens.
Oh my God, Alex, this slumber party is amazing. It's very good.
So yeah, they have to do a Constitution saving throw.
MS Paint.
Okay, great.
That was bad.
And if they fail, they're either blind or deafened.
Which one do you choose?
I'm gonna go blind because I feel like, especially if this is the hag. I mean, it's 4 a.m. Anyone knocking, then pushing open the door at the church at 4 a.m.
Sanctuary! Sanctuary!
Oh no,
Is this
no,
seven?
I need toppins.
but she went
17?
like this, right? She was like, oh. I didn't
Yeah.
misread that. Okay.
17. Is this success, I believe?
Sorry, yes.
Versus reflex or whatever.
So if it
That's a
fails-
Constitution save.
Yeah. So if it fails, the target is blind or deaf in your choice of duration. At the end of each turn, the target gets... Oh, so no, I guess it just succeeds. Ooh, high Constitution, everyone. Keep that in mind, at least. Cool. Okay. And I used up one of my slots.
Great.
Oh, I
Graham.
should've used XP on it. I can't use inspiration after. Never mind. Yes. Me.
You see the creature from your dream. There is a horrific-looking old woman standing in the doorway of this church. She has waxy blue-gray skin hanging loosely off the bones of her face, all of it with oozing abscesses. Her black hair, wild, knotted, soiled, dripping wet for some reason. It's not raining outside. She's
20 minutes.
green robes that are a patchwork of mildew bloodstain. The teeth that she is showing all of you are made of some seemingly dark metal, filed to sharp points, and she's reaching out at the 4 of you with her claws. She says, "Give me back my child."
Oh.
My.
Is she attacking?
You are
really?
beautiful
We're not
lady.
in initiative yet. You
Really?
cast a spell on her and she deflected it, and she is merely standing there requesting that you give her back this daughter.
Well, a woman so beautiful as you, why would we want to do anything against your will?
They like to be ugly.
You have made me come up here. Just give me back my child.
Just an observation. I can roll perception for this or not. What was
Please.
her reaction when Justin said "beautiful" to her?
She sort of flinched a little bit, but nothing.
Excellent.
Really, yeah.
I would like to cast my thaumaturgy cantrip,
Okay.
and it's gonna go something like, because it's gonna be the consistent whispers. It's gonna be like, "Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's so nice. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's so
She sort of like waves her hands in the air around her head. She's like, "This trick is old, but not older than me." She takes a few steps into the room.
Why are you terrorizing this town?
Why are you here?
No, you answer my question first. That's how this works.
And then we'll answer your question.
Not terrorizing, my dear. Visiting with, you see.
You are literally causing nightmares in the villages. Am I wrong?
Well, I'm facilitating the evil that is inside every one of them.
Oh, facility
Why?
evil.
Why, it is their natural state, my dear. Of
So
course.
you believe you're helping them? Sorry. No, you go on.
She morphs her shape entirely into this svelte young farmer's daughter type,
Ugh.
like a little flouncy petticoat and like curly golden hair, and she sort of like takes a few more steps into the room. She's like, "What do you mean, why? Why not? Because nature is meant to be exposed. Quintus, is it?"
Aye, that's my name.
Well, you see, when the humanoid sleeps, they dream about truths, things that are deep and important to them, and I merely help them understand those truths, Quintus.
And you also steal babies. Am I the only one here? Why? You guys should be helping chip in here, right?
She changes her form again. She's like a brunette woman who's got like a matronly face, and she's about 8 months pregnant, and she just like holds her belly. She's walking a few more steps into the room, sort of just like considering her pregnant body.
I jump forward and scream,
Yeah, none of this will work here, my little friend.
and I cast, oh fuck, I just had it up. Scorching Ray. My
Alright.
level 2 evocation.
That's an aggressive one.
That's where we want to start.
Roll
Yep.
initiative.
Damn it, Alex.
Okay, initiative is 8.
I was like, I could have cast Shatter, like Thunderwave, these big, while she was far away. You want to start with such a small guy?
It's
That's
2d6
pretty good.
fire damage.
Well,
Oh, is it? That's not bad.
It's not bad,
Okay,
but
no
it's
way.
not. Fair enough. Someone had to start
it's a
it.
level 2.
I thought
It
you.
is a
I
lot.
figured you guys wanted to do some like role playing or something.
Leah's sitting
No,
on a
I'm looking at the time
9.
too.
Yeah, I mean we might have to just slice this off mid-combat, but that's okay.
I think it's
13.
exciting cutting off mid-combat.
Yeah,
It's like next week on INVICTUS
Dragon
stream.
Ball Z.
Tune in to
fuck is
find
your
out how this
name?
battle ends.
13.
What does Quintus have?
18.
18. Madame Hag will be taking a
Mama Hag.
17. And I'm gonna throw our priest friends into the mix
Good.
They
More
run
people to be possessed.
versus Constance. And 11 for Brother Creamy. Okay, so as Tados is like going to cast his spell, Sister Constance basically ducks behind a pew, and it's Quintus's turn.
Oh, so he hasn't cast the spell yet?
This is not a surprise round
No.
because she was not
I-
surprised by that action.
In fact, I only rolled my. It kind of worked out for me actually. I worked.
Did you roll
I
damage
rolled
and it
my
wasn't
initiative.
Right?
I rolled an 8 for initiative.
Oh, okay, good. That's fine. I'll allow it. Did you add your
Alright.
initiative bonus to that?
No, I
Oh,
did not.
you should do that.
So it's a 9.
Okay, cool. You want to go before or after Leah?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well I'll keep.
I'll
going.
go. I'll go after.
Quintus, what's up? So let's just talk about the shape of this building real quick.
Yes.
I'm gonna draw it. It's gonna be like this. There's like 3.
Just to make this, sorry, and before you draw it, to ensure that, like, I would have made sure we were sleeping far enough away from the door that I know she was going to enter from based on the river, so that my Thunderwave and Shatter would not be
I mean,
affecting
she
us.
wasn't entering at a door based on the river.
Okay.
Anyway, she
then
just
that's
came
fair
in the
enough.
front door.
Then it's totally fair.
So this is like the overall footprint of like the building, the main
Mm-hmm.
room that we're in with the 3 different areas of the church. We're in the direct middle. We've pushed pews up all against the sides, basically. And I'm going to say that it's 100 feet by 100 feet, just to make things easier.
Perfect.
She's, I don't know, about 10 feet into the room right now. So she's about 40 feet from where we're all
standing up at this point, I would presume.
do
I
you-
will also mention that you can't sleep in armor. You just can't. It's not
I
allowed.
don't sleep.
I wasn't sleeping.
I always
though.
have
Is that?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Actually, as an elf, you can just meditate. You might want to take it off sometimes to wash it, but you don't have to take it off to rest. Whereas,
Well-
like Graham, isn't wearing his armor right now. And Tados, you don't wear armor. Leah doesn't wear armor yet.
Never do.
I could, but I haven't bought any yet.
Part of my draconic resilience.
Well, I see Graham in his night clothes, and I remember what he said from last time, and I just take a step in front of him with my spear up, Drew Allen, and I'm just going to defer, and I'm just going to say, whenever you're ready, Graham. It is
All those R's, eh?
whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Is that all that you do, Quintus?
I'm deferring. I'm deferring until after Graham goes.
Okay, so you're gonna delay your turn.
Yep.
It's the hag's turn.
Ooh.
Yes. So she's gonna cast sleep real quick.
She would. I hear this very bad. I watched something today on sleep.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll on my phone because that's so much easier. If any of you want like a good dice app, D20 Dice is very good.
But you know what's even better? INVICTUS.
That's right.
Does D20 Dice have sound
You can get that on your app
effects?
too. Probably not, but you know
Okay.
what else doesn't? Is life.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so who here has the lowest hit points? Leah has 18.
Not me. I'm 25.
25. I think Leah's probably the lowest. I don't know, maybe like the clerics probably have around 20 or so.
Quintus?
So Leah
no.
actually falls asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, she just kind of like topples over and
Leah,
passes
what are you
out.
doing? Wake up. This is not the time to sleep.
And the hag she still like looks like she's a pregnant woman, this like brunette, and she's like walking towards you holding this pregnant belly. It is Graham's turn.
Oh, right. I'm going to cast Shatter on her.
Okay.
Excellent. Do it.
So, a sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of my choice within range. And it's a 10-foot radius sphere. So I'm just going to put it either behind her or on her. Based
Do
on
I
layout.
get to make a saving throw?
Oh, let's hope not. Each creature... Constitution saving throw.
Great. I have advantage on all saving throws against magical effects.
Damn.
You would.
I rolled a 3, so I'm going to roll again.
Whoa.
And I rolled an 8. Plus my constitution of 3 is only an 11.
So
I
that
failed.
fail.
Oh.
So you take...
Roll your damage.
Hold on. You take 3d8 damage on a
Fuck
fail. However, I'm going to use my channel Divinity to deal maximum damage.
Tempest cleric, motherfucker!
So
What?
that's 3d8. That's
So
8 times
16
3.
damage.
No.
24
8
damage.
times 3.
8 times 3.
So you take 24
I'm sorry. I
damage.
was thinking 3 times 6.
Nicely done.
I don't know why.
Hag.
My
Are you
math
wearing your
is off.
nightcap at this time too? And
Yeah,
it
right.
flutters up, but just kind of goes into a point
Now-
as you're casting.
Oh, by the way, a
24.
creature made of inorganic materials such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage. I know you're not, but your teeth maybe will shatter if you want to be cool. Because there's a lot.
She becomes a
No.
toothless hag.
I would do
Her
that.
teeth do not
You
shatter,
toothless hag.
Literally.
but she screams.
Wow.
And her
Wow.
appearance
Wow.
shifts from
Can I
the,
just
the
say-
farm lady to the hag to the pregnant lady to a man to a bunch
cool.
of things.
Yeah, to an ignorant
flickering
farmer.
around.
Just a bunch of
Say, way to go, Graham. Nice.
Been waiting to
Nice
use
move,
it.
nicely done.
It's a 24 hit points.
With advantage.
Yeah, that's very good.
She,
That's
she's
that's
got to be bloodied.
That's not even fucking close.
No, she's very, very short.
Nope. Not even close. I will tell.
Thanks, DM.
Yeah.
It's stay silent on that shit.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
You're doing great. You're doing a good job.
Doing great. Yeah, not even fucking close to body.
Keep it going.
300 hit points later.
It's Brother Karini's turn. He's gonna cast Sacred Flame on her ass.
Oh, I was deferring until after Graham.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Please, it's your turn then. So I'm gonna just move you permanently in the order.
All right.
Great. Go.
I'm going to charge.
Okay.
And how far away is she? 40 feet, or did she get closer with her turn?
She hasn't taken her turn. Oh, she did take her turn. Yeah, she got closer to you. So she's about, yeah, we'll call it 30 feet, 35 feet. You have 35 feet of movement, do you not?
30 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a half elf. That's right.
Half.
Yeah, we'll call her 30 feet away. I'm feeling generous.
All right. So I charge at her with Drew Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to... Okay, I'm going to do a distracting strike.
Okay, what does
But
that do?
I apply it after a hit, so I might not... if I don't hit, then I don't use it.
Cool,
It says
make a hit.
apply after hit.
Make a good hit. Make
All
it.
right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
And
It's
do it good.
16.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, that
No, you
tells
don't
us something.
hit her with it.
That's fine. My spear sails over her. She Matrix-like.
She just kind of like
Swings back
dips out of the way like a little snake slither. And then she just stands and looks at you. Quintus, I'm sorry, but that was not good enough.
Wow.
Well, I'll have to try harder.
Salt in the wound.
Brother Carini then launches a bout of sacred flame. Lathander's might! Ah! So she's going to try a dexterity saving throw. And she succeeds. So she just kind of dips out of the way again. And it is now Leah's turn. She is asleep, and she just stays sleeping. Tados, your turn.
I am going to cast.
Alex, sorry, don't forget you have inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, you know what? And because of this, I'm going to do something a little bit out of the norm.
Oh, God. No, do the norm. Kill her.
No, I'm doing out of the norm.
I'm going to try to talk to her.
Yes, I do. I try to talk to her. I run up and I say, listen, you have to listen to what I'm saying. You have to understand what I'm meaning. You have to believe me. And I'm going for a two approach here. Number one, by approaching her, she's not going to be what's the word? Hesitant of me coming up close to her. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, maybe that will let her guard down, and that's when I attack with my dagger.
Okay. So, I see what you're getting at here. I want you to please either make why don't you make a deception check for me?
Perfect. Let's do that. A 19?
Oh.
Nice.
Plus 5 deception, so 24.
Okay, I'm going to roll insight against your deception, which is how this roll works. And I rolled a 19. What's her insight? Oh, it's 25.
Fuck me. That's gotta be a joke.
No, it's not, I'm not joking. I'm so sorry.
So
you run up to her and she's like, yes, and you pull out your dagger to stab her. And
But
she's
the best
like,
part is, Alex,
don't you understand?
you really think you succeed at deceiving her too.
You do. So make an attack roll.
So I'm like,
I'm not going to give you advantage on your attack roll, essentially, because she sees you coming and
so
she
my
knows that
attack roll is a.
But that was fucking good.
I'm gonna use my +3 with daggers. It's a 1d4 plus pierce.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna allow my attack?
You have to roll your attack.
You have to try to hit first. So you roll a d20.
It's a what? Well, my d20 for attack is a 20.
You just rolled a crit?
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Yeah, you just crit it.
That's really good.
That's amazing.
Really fucking lucky. My God, this is such a bad idea gone so well.
Okay, so
Wait, what? Hold on. I rolled. Oh, that was for my deception.
ran up.
That's right. Okay.
Hold up.
This is my attack. Right.
What just happened?
A 20.
He rolled a natural 20 on his attack, and for some reason added a d4.
I put
Well,
my damage
the damage was in there. Okay, so because you rolled a crit, you get to roll your damage dice again. So you roll another d4. So you rolled
I'm
1
gonna
damage.
reset. 1 damage and 3 damage.
Great. So
But
you
both
rolled...
those have +1 pierce.
No.
You want to allow it?
So you rolled 1 damage and you rolled 3 damage, so you have 4 damage. You add your proficiency bonus, which is 2, and then you add your dexterity modifier, which I don't know what it is.
My dexterity modifier is a +1.
Cool. So she takes 7 damage.
Excellent.
Blech. Where do you stab her?
Right in the shoulder. I'm like,
Ugh, and she's like, "Oh, you fucking devil spawn!" and throws.
so
her
I
off
didn't
of her.
deceive her.
No.
Okay,
you did
fair
not
enough.
deceive
But
her.
I was able to pull enough sleight of hand to stab her in the shoulder.
You did. So
This is for you, devil bitch.
in the middle of the night, in a church dedicated to 3 gods of light, we have 4 heroes of the Undefeated trying to protect this babe, who may be a demon and maybe savable, maybe not savable. We are in the middle of a combat. We're going to have to come back to this next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I don't think we're trying to save the baby. I think we're using it as like.
I don't know. What
That's
are we
my
trying to do
logic.
with the baby? We'll find
Me,
out.
I'm just like,
Baby. This is my favorite. I always, when I'm reading a good book, I stop halfway through the good part. I'm like, no, I want to pick this up tomorrow. Because I often used to end on down points, and then I don't pick the book back up.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah, interesting. That's me too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. This has been such a blast. Hope you've been enjoying episode 9 of Chapters of the Undefeated. But it is not over yet. We have an end game XP to give away. Who do you think we should be giving it away to? I have someone in mind. What about you guys?
I've learned that when I'm DMing, I can't really look a lot at the chat because I sort of lose my train of thought.
Your train of what?
What do you say, Harlan?
My train of thought, I sort of get like
I'm
confused.
just joking. I think that we should give it to the new member that joined today and has been pretty active in the chat, who got to watch.
Correcting?
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Congratulations, Go Redding.
So there you go.
She's Canadian, I believe.
Or is it Gorting?
Is she?
I think she's in like Nova Scotia or something.
I thought it was something.
No,
else,
that's
but
Maybe I'm
Gorting.
thinking of
Tell
someone
us where
else.
you're from.
I don't know.
Oh
Whatever
no, she
the-
said it's 4 a.m., so probably not.
Yeah. Whatever the case, I think that you definitely should win, because not only did you just join us, but you also came by and hung out for a live stream for the first time, which is really good. And she's been watching a ton of Numenera, so that's sort of her wheelhouse, which we haven't heard of in a while. We haven't heard enough Numenera joiners, which I'm happy because I loved playing Numenera.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do
Slammo.
that.
Give us
Cool.
a Slammo, Alex.
Slammo! No, wait, it's
That's
gotta
so
be without
good.
the mask.
Yeah, go.
Slammo!
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
thank you so
solid.
much for hanging out with us. This has been Chapters of the Undefeated, episode 9. Have a great night, a great weekend. Again, please consider supporting us on Patreon if you like this. The link is in the description of this video. You have a fantastic night, and as my brother Justin always likes to say, that's you guys. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.